Knicks family, what's popping? Another debacle by the New York Knicks. And I mean, I don't know if we expected anything else, but man, let's go ahead and let's talk about this, man. Let's go. Knicks family, what's popping? We back in the building. I got Viv in the chat. I got Aunt G in the chat. And Aunt G, you got to remind me to let me get your shirt size. All right. You got to remind me that I need your shirt size. Grandma, I think I might need your shirt size too. I'm not sure if you got the email today, so I got to get you guys shirt sizes. Yeah, another debacle by the New York Knicks. And look, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on tonight's game because I don't know how important it really is. You know, we're going to get into some of these trade rumors and all this kind of stuff going on. But of course, we're gonna start off talking about the game. We're going to get it out the way. We're going to do a little recap, our takeaways from the game. Then we're going to get into some stuff I know we all want to talk about. All right, so let's talk to the video chat real quick. See what everybody's thinking, see what everybody's talking about. And
you ready, bro?
You know, we're gonna go ahead and do this thing here. So Viv, what's poppin', man? Your take, bro.
Another one of those games, Sim, right?
Another one of them.
All it took was I think 2 minutes to completely change the entire mood of the game.
Entire mood, exactly.
All it took was 2 minutes, and then that just pretty much ruined the entire first half right there. It only took a couple minutes in the third quarter to pretty much demoralize us, and it kind of put us in such a hole that even though we came back in a bit, we had a decent third quarter, but we just kind of started off so terribly that it just took us a while to recover, and then that same thing happened in the fourth quarter. So it's just a game of a couple minutes. All it takes is a couple minutes for each quarter for the tide to turn, and that's just a story. I mean, look, the Knicks are not a talented team at this stage. There's some injuries that are bothering us at the moment. So it's tough, but what can you do?
Yeah, and look, we're just not the type of team. We just don't have the kind of firepower that's going to allow us to get back in the games when we get down double digits. We don't have the firepower to do that. We don't have the firepower. We don't have the defense. Right? We don't have those things to be able to climb back into games. In the beginning of the season, it seemed like we did. But it's proven that we don't.
I think a few of us said it earlier on that you're going to have a lot of those tougher games. You're going to be close early on in the season because you have that energy, and you're kind of facing teams that are not, they're kind of getting revved up, for the course of the season.
Right.
But then the moment the end of December, January hits, when teams are starting, when teams are in full steam. Then that's when that's when the wheels fall off for us.
Right.
And this is what's happening.
Right. Teams are starting to find their stride. New players are starting to really get comfortable in the system, get used to their teammates and all those type of things. And and then teams start to really play ball. And clearly, we cannot play ball with them. And what's your take, man?
What's up, man? I kind of feel bad for these guys, man. Because it's I don't think people understand how mentally debilitating it can be to be so overmatched every game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like looking at their faces, like they're like, okay, here we go again. Like they know that they just can't, athletically or talent-wise, keep up. So and like most of these guys, like they've won all their lives. Like they've never been overmatched before. So, you see guys like Knox, and I even saw it on Lance Thomas' face today. Like they're tired of losing, right? but it's really nothing they can do about it.
Right.
You know, it's really nothing they can do about it. And it's like, at this point, man, you'll be hard pressed to find 6 more wins on the schedule for the rest of the year. I mean, and you know, I feel bad for those guys, man, because I don't think it's for a lack of effort. I just don't think they're good enough, and I think they realize
that they are not talented. There are coaching issues, but you have a point there.
Well, according to Fizz, there'll be more wins in the second half of the season than the first half of the season. So let's see how that works out.
I hope
that
so,
works
man.
out. We'll see how that works out. You know what I mean? Isaiah.
Sim. I'm gonna go crazy just a tiny bit, just a little bit.
For what? Why? I mean, we expect this, man. No. Why even go crazy?
No, I'm not gonna go crazy, Sim, but it's like, all right, there was one play that truly pissed me off tonight.
Okay.
And I was just outraged because I'm like, Fizz, where are you at? So there was a play where Zoe lost the ball and didn't get back on defense. And Mario was the only one who got back on defense. And luckily enough, he swatted the ball. And I look at that play and I'm like, that pissed me off. And I was really pissed off because, you know, this game made me remind myself of the Orlando game when we had it. To me, we had a good starting lineup with Frank, Knox, Mitchell, Vonleh. I forgot who else the other person was. I think it was Dot or Tim Hardaway, and Fizz took that lineup up and didn't use it, even though statistically that's our best lineup. And my thing is, where's his effort? That pissed me off because where's Zoe's effort? He literally got the ball stolen, and Mario's the only one out of all the Knicks on the court to run back and actually play defense. Mario was our best defender tonight. He actually tried and gave a damn. It's just like these are the things that get me mad with Fizz and what makes me lose faith in him sometimes, because all he cares to me right now, with the way it looks, is that he only cares about offensive plays, because tonight I seen Mud miss a lot of assignments. He played I don't care about the 21 points in the second half. He played horrible on defense. Tim Hardaway, we know he plays horrible on defense. My thing is, when are they going to take accountability for the stuff that they do on a defensive end? But you sit players like Dot and Frank and all this stuff for these players, but we don't care. We care about one side of the ball. That's what's getting me mad with Fizz, is that right now, to me, it looks like he cares about one side of the ball and being aggressive on one side. And then when it comes to defensive side, certain players get a pass, or certain players he just keeps on the court, but he lets other players that actually care and try to play sit down or don't play them. That's the part that gets me mad with Fizz. I like Fizz a lot, but sometimes he just shows favoritism on the offensive end a little bit more than he does on the defensive end. And I'm tired of hearing about these players are not trying on the defensive end. They're not trying right now. That's the part that's getting me mad with Fizz, and that's why I always will critique him, because this year I was excited because I was like, okay, well, I know we're going to be bad, but at least I want to know that we try, that we care, that we give 100% effort every game. Seeing these players play like this and not giving a damn or not showing effort, I'm not getting back and not running back on the court, that's bothersome. It don't matter if we agree with that, if the trolls agree with that, that's got to be on Fizz. We can't have these players play defense and not care and not run back and not show effort. That's my biggest thing about this season, was about showing effort and caring. They're not caring right now. And I know the losses are big and I know that affects them, but you got to care. You got to care.
You got to care.
That's my thing. You have to care.
I mean, you're right. You got to care. I will say it never gets hard to care, in my opinion, if you love the game. But it is hard to motivate, to stay motivated when you're losing every game. Yeah, it's a tough task. That's definitely a tough task, man. Trust me, I've been there more than one time, and it is very tough to stay motivated when you're continuously losing. Let me get around the block. I'll come back to you because we got some other people trying to join the chat. All right, Guermo, what's popping, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to watch some of these highlights from the game, man. Like I agree with Isaiah. Look, to everybody in the chat room, I agree. We are tanking, but this is a team that you can still tank and play convincingly, right? You can still have some type of foundation for the future, man. When Hazonia got benched and he came back, he's playing hard, man. I can't. I always said that Hazonia's a guy that he needs proper coaching. He's talented, but he just needs proper coaching. You can see him kind of go off the rails sometimes. But him and Dotson, and Dotson's not getting playing time. So it's like, I've given up. I want to say I've given up on Fizdale, because I guess I have to see when he gets his little friends around, his little free agent friends. It seems that's what he wants. But I implore all you guys to go and watch how the Heat played the Celtics yesterday. I watched the Heat yesterday, and I'm not saying the Heat aren't a good team. They are a good team, but they're not the most talented team. And they mollywopped the Celtics. You can see that team play hard on defense. You can see that team have some type of structure. They have the three-point shooters, the perimeter guys. They have a system to get these guys open, right? You know what I mean? Or to get these guys shots. And I watched this team. It's like Fizzle's only caring about whether these guys can master the ISO game. That's not the only thing that's a part of basketball, especially on offense. So, look, I want to wax poetic about it, man. I've lost faith, at least for this season, with regards to his coaching, man. It just looks piss poor, bro. A guy like Trier, I have yet to see really Trier get punished for, like Isaiah said, you're not getting back on defense. Even with Cantor out, it's not like Cantor's a great player, but there's a team that even if we're playing a team that's far more superior, there should be a defensive tenacity that says, oh, crap, they're not taking this game lightly. You know what I mean? Teams are coming to the Knicks Garden and mollywopping us, bro. I don't care. If you go on the road and you lose to the Golden State Warriors by 30 and they're home, fine. But when you're in New York, bro, no, it shouldn't go that. It should be, even if I'm having a bad game, I'm 1 for 8. I'm going to play disgustingly hard on defense, and I'm going to make turnovers. I'm going to get bad shots on the other team. I'm going to get something to get our team close to a win, or at least to look competitive where teams don't just come in and step in on us. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm just ready to talk about the trade stuff, because all this stuff about Fizdale, he's a joke, man. I'm tired of it, man. Yeah. Trash.
I'm not totally giving up on him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's making me very, very skeptical. I'm not gonna lie. And Fizdale is my guy, but I'm not giving up because I do understand this year it was very, very challenging year. It just as far as just looking at what he had to deal with the veterans and those type of things. I do believe that makes it very, very
but Sim, look at other teams around the league. The Kings are competitive. Don't get me wrong. De'Aaron Fox is nice, but the Kings are competitive. Please tell me outside De'Aaron Fox on that team that you look at and say, oh, he might be a Hall of Fame one day, or he's going to be a perennial All-Star. Outside of De'Aaron Fox, who has talent. You know what I mean? It comes down to coaching, Sim. Why is that? We always have bum coaches. Why don't we have a coach? Look, I don't get it. We either have a coach that doesn't know how to use players to assist them, or we have Derek Fisher trying to have sex with guys' wives and girlfriends, or we have Fizdale, who's going around. But yeah, I want to get LeBron to come and talk to us. Yeah, I want to get all the Hall of Famers to come. Why don't you coach? Why don't you coach? I don't care about LeBron. You know what? If I was a coach and we're playing LeBron, I would excuse my language. I would ish on LeBron every day. Oh, that dude's taking PEDs, man. That dude came and went on his own. Y'all gotta let LeBron come to the Garden and beat y'all. I better see. Look, if LeBron scores anything over 30, the first person to foul him hard, you're gonna get free dinners from me for the whole month. That's how I'll do some Greg Williams stuff, man. I'm gonna inspire these guys to play hard on defense, man. Let defense be the backbone of this team, and then you can build up offense. Because great defense creates offense anyway. So I don't know. I'm tired. Come on, man.
I feel you.
These guys' Twitter fingers and rumors, bro. Players on our own team don't even care about the sanctity of the team, man. Come on, man.
I mean, trust me. I definitely feel you. I'm just willing to wait and see what happens. I'm just willing to wait and see what happens before I just say he's horrible. Now, I mean, I'm with you in everything that you've been saying. Trust me, I'm right there with you because, I mean, I see the same things, but I see a lot of the same things. I'm just willing to hold out and reserve judgment for a little bit. I'm trying to just reserve a little bit of judgment until we make whatever moves we're going to make later on. Listen, when you're coaching a team, I just gotta, just the way that I think, when you're coaching a team that has so many, like you said, 1-year contracts, guys that are playing for their careers and not sure if they have a long-term, place with this team, I feel like there's going to be a lot of this. Just because of the status of a lot of the players. Now, and it makes it hard. I think it makes it hard to motivate guys to play. If you're trying to motivate them to play defense, first of all, let's start with the offensive side. If guys are not playing this style of basketball, if guys are not sharing the basketball, right? And it's constant, one-on-one type of play, people breaking off. If there are not plays, but sets or actions that they're supposed to be doing, and people are breaking it off because they're trying to get their numbers and those type of things, you know what that does? That doesn't just demoralize you on the offensive end, but it also demoralizes you on the defensive end. Because now you run back like, you know what? Why am I even playing? Why am I even out here? Because I'm not getting touches. I'm not doing, and so then it's a snowball effect, and it just goes on and on. So to me, it is a big challenge. It's a big challenge.
I just say, Prince, Sim, I know you got to go to other people, but what is it that you can see that's a staple of Fizdale on this team?
There is none.
Even if we were losing, I don't mind us losing by, honestly, I don't mind us losing by 20. But there should be some type of staple where you see, all right, he's trying to do this. And then next year, when you have free agents, you have guys you be able to trade, you have draft picks. Yeah. Then it's like, all right, I'm going to get guys to fit my philosophy, my system. What is it? Is it defense? Is it off-ball movement? Like, what is it? Because I don't want to go back to Hornacek. I'm not saying Hornacek is good, right? But at least when KP and Frank played, you saw what Hornacek, not going to say Hornacek, Phil Jackson, you saw what he was trying to do. When you watch this team, like I said, unless a guy goes hot ISO, you don't really see any success. There's no real sustained success. We only get it maybe if the other team is struggling, like the first half against the Golden State Warriors or the Lakers, but even the Lakers guys had good ISO games, but it's like, what is, and again, let me not overreact. I'm not saying I want Fizdale gone. I'm just getting frustrated because I don't see any, I don't say progress, I just don't see what he's trying to do. Like, it's just.
No, I get it. You don't, I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either what exactly, what he's trying to do. I'm hoping that he has some secret sauce. He's a mastermind somewhere, and it's all going to come together in the end. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm trying to reserve. I'm just trying to reserve it, man. But trust me, I get you. I get you. I'm just trying to reserve a little bit of judgment. C-Dog, what's your take, man? What's your take on the game, on tonight's game? What's your take on tonight's game?
Hey, Indiana came out and they tried to punk us playing good defense. We don't have the guard play to stop that. But right off the beginning, 5 times.
Say that over. We've been what?
Right off the bat, we turned the ball over about 5 times. We didn't have the guard play. And we didn't have no big men. I mean,
yeah, and let me tell you, if this Cantor trade goes through, we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna rebound the basketball.
Not really.
I think we will. We will.
Zach is a good rebounder if he's playing.
That's the thing. I don't know if he's gonna be playing. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's gonna be playing.
Why is everybody worried about this year when Because even but the thing is, like we've been saying, and like Guillermo's been saying, it's not about worrying about if we're gonna win this year. It's about worrying about the development of players and things like that. And I think getting blown out every game,
to me, right, it's hard to develop players. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting blown out every game. I mean, you got to have, you know, you need to be competitive to somewhat competitive at least, you know, so that you can teach in competitive moments, and rebounding is a huge part of that, in my opinion. Now, maybe some guys can step up and that'll be part of their development, you know, that they can step up and help out on the boards. But, you know, I just think, you know, that's an important part of at least being competitive, you know, being able to rebound the basketball. I'm not against trading him. I'm not against that at all. Trust me. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
If both of the contracts are going to expire, it doesn't matter. As long as we lose that $18 million, that's all I worry about.
Oh well, we're gonna lose that regardless.
Yeah. So what difference do it make if it's Randolph or Cantor playing?
I mean, the thing is, I don't. If Randolph is gonna play, then fine. I'm just saying we're not sure. You know, I don't think he's played this season, has he?
He probably hasn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's played this season. So but
that don't mean he wouldn't play with the Knicks. They don't have
true.
Somebody.
True. That doesn't mean he won't play with the Knicks. He could very well play with the Knicks.
Yeah, you know, the Knicks is shitty. They don't let they can do.
You know, I mean, but I don't know if it's that he didn't play. I have to look into it. I don't know if it's that he hasn't played. You know, because
I don't think he's hurt.
His talent.
They're just not playing him because the team is better. They got better talent than we do. They don't need them. I
mean, it could be just like we haven't used Courtney Lee. It could be the same type of thing. I don't know. And he could come here and if we want to develop young guys, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The thing about you know, still playing Cantor is young. I mean,
I heard that.
Listen, the Kings need rebounding.
I'm gonna see you on Monday.
Look, the Kings need rebounding, and if Zach Randolph is healthy enough to play and he can play, and if they're just not using him, they need rebounding. You know, then maybe he's just not getting it. And maybe he just can't get it anymore. Maybe he can't get it defensively. Maybe, you know, I don't know what the issues are, but they're obviously looking at Cantor as someone who can help him over Zach Randolph, and he's young, of course. You know what I mean? My man, with the glasses. I'm not sure your name. Man? What's going on with you, bro?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So what's your take on the game?
Oh yeah, man. Listen, do you really think? Here's a question: do you really think that the clock really started on Fist? I mean, think about it. Like,
no, I don't think it started.
Half of the players on the team are not going to be here next year. KP's not back, so it's like. It's crazy because it's like we could have a completely different team next year if we get one or two free agents, right?
Right.
Cantor's not going to be here. Moutier might not be here. We might have to pay Dotson. I don't want to do that. Vonleh, we're not going to pay Vonleh. He might not be there. We might even trade him. I mean, it's like I feel like when Mills and Perry bought him on, I feel like they had an understanding. This year we're gonna tank, and next year is when the clock really starts Fits. You know that.
You know, under their breath, you know, that could have been it. But still, I still think like you know, like Guillermo was saying, even if you decided, you know, we're just gonna throw this one. I don't know if you ever even you don't really throw a season away, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah, but it's like, what's the point of developing the players that we have right now that are under contract for this year if we're not gonna keep them after next year, like Burke?
But it's not about just developing the players, in my opinion. It's about, like Guillermo was saying, setting up your philosophy of play. Right, your philosophy of play and how you want to play basketball, how you want people to approach the game when they're playing for you,
right?
And then
and
so that you have something to stand on when you are talking to free agents, when you bring in new players. The reason why you have a lot of these teams who are perpetually good is because they have a philosophy and a style already established. And so when they look for players, they can look for those players that fit into that philosophy and style. When they look for free agents, all that kind of stuff, they look for people that can fit that philosophy and that style of play. Now, obviously, we don't have a total style of play, right? But we're supposed to be establishing one.
I mean, I feel like before we establish even a style of play, we need to have a foundation first. You know, but I feel like when I look at other teams that are playing well, they already have a foundation. They already have players that have been there for multiple years, like Golden State, right? They already have Curry, Clay, Draymond. They just needed to plug in Iguodala, plug in Livingston, and get KD, and then boom, you know, they were better. Or like the Kings, they got one or two players, some veterans, and you know, it made their team a lot better. It's like when I look at our team, it's just a bunch of pieces, right? And it's like there's no foundation. We're just playing just to play. Not only are we the youngest team in the league, but we're just trash. Like if we were the Suns and we were if we were the Suns, I would really be concerned because they have their foundational pieces, but they don't have a style of play. Our one piece, Porzingis, he's injured. Knox, you know what? He's playing. He's only 19, so I'm gonna give him a little bit more years. But you know, he's really balling. Trier looks good. Mitch looks good. Frank looks good in certain stretches, but you know, I feel like that's the foundation that we have right now. The team that's playing is not really the foundation that we have to even have like a style or a system to play. I feel like Fizdale's really trying to tank, but see what he has right now, so that you know when we do go to next year and we do get some pieces, because I really think there's going to be players coming into New York, and I really think we might have a chance of getting KD. I'm not quite sold on it, but I do think we can get a high caliber free agent, maybe a Kemba, maybe Jimmy Butler if he doesn't sign. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want them because they're, you know, about to be 30 and past, but it's obvious that these young pieces are good, but they're not good enough. So it's like we surrounded them with a bunch of expendable pieces that I feel like, you know, we could get rid of now.
See, I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. My response is this. If you're building a house, what's the first thing that you start with when you're building a house?
I mean, I'm not, you know, I've never been in the contracting business. So, you know, I'm going to say, you know, the concrete. But
actually, I mean, sure. Well, the concrete, that's your foundation, like you're saying, the foundation. Right. But before you even lay the foundation, you have a blueprint. Right? You have a blueprint. And your blueprint tells you which shape you make the foundation. Right? Because if you're making a circle house, then your foundation needs to be a circle. If you're making a square house, then your foundation needs to be the square. But it all starts with the blueprint, the idea. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I believe you've got to have a philosophy, because like that blueprint is like your philosophy. You know what I mean? And I believe you got to have a philosophy, and then you plug your foundational pieces into your philosophy of play. This when you go out and find your foundational players, and you know, so that's why I feel like you got to have a philosophy. And even if you just have, you know, you have some players that you don't know that they're gonna fit into that philosophy or that style, you start putting that style in, and you say, here's how we're gonna play. We're gonna be fast. We're gonna play hard defense. We're gonna rebound. Whatever your style is, you make sure you have that style of play. And players that don't fit, you get rid of them. And players that do fit, you keep them. Players that play that way, you keep them. I get what you're saying, though. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, you're a coach, so you know I'm gonna take your word for what you're saying. You know, like you bring up some good points. But I would ask you this, right? Would you? The trade line is coming. The deadline's coming up. Would you trade Vonleh or Dotson? Because if we don't trade them and they keep playing well, if we want to keep them, we're going to have to pay them with our cap space next year. So would you trade them now and get some picks or some more expiring contracts we can buy out and maybe try some guys in the G League that, you know, that are playing for the Westchester Knicks or something? Or, you know, what do you think right now? Because the season's already lost. You know, we're tanking. Clearly obvious. What do you think is our plan of motion going forward? I don't think Fizdale's a bad coach. I just think he understands what we need to do this year in order to be successful next year. Because if we played hard this year, if we won games, we won ourselves out of the lottery, then it would. I don't think it would be as appealing to free agents as it were if we were to possibly get one of the top 3 picks in the draft. You know, think about it. You got KP, you got Frank, you got these young pieces plus the first pick, and you got cap space. I mean, I think that's good enough to get maybe 1 or 2 pieces, or maybe even trade some of our young guys for a better player if we do get a really good free agent piece. But like I said, what do you think is our next move from here? Do we trade the players that we have? Do we buy out Cantor, or do we try to trade him, maybe get a 2nd round pick? I mean, I feel like with the players that we have, I feel like with next year's pick, maybe we could go out and get maybe like a player like Fultz, somebody that's, you know, like underperforming, even though he has a lot of potential. Maybe Lonzo Ball. I don't know if the Lakers would trade him, but, you know, I would definitely want to see him in a Knicks uniform. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think that I mean, it's hard to say. I think it's all going to depend on if something comes along that they feel is enticing enough. One thing that I've always said is, to me, no player is untradeable. You know, and I know a lot of people disagree with me, and I'm cool with that. I just don't think any player is ever untradeable. Now, and some players, in order to, you know, trade them or whatever, the price tag might be astronomical, so it basically makes it like it would never happen, right? But I think, you know, if the right thing comes along for any player, any player, they'll be traded.
So you're saying basically if the Spurs open up the war chest for KP, you would flip them?
I mean, if like the total right I mean, it has to be the total right package. Now, what the war does San Antonio have anything that I would really want, that I would say this is going to be my foundation? Probably not. Not over KP, right? I wouldn't want DeRozan. I wouldn't want LaMarcus Aldridge. So they would, maybe, you know, no.
They don't have young pieces either. So
you know, so no, not for San Antonio.
But what if a team like, all right, so let's say LA gets AD, right? And Boston wants him. So, and let's say Boston comes to us and they're like, we'll give you Tatum, we'll give you Brown, we'll give you like a first pick. And they have 4 picks this year. They have 4 draft picks this year in the first round. What if they're like, we'll give you all 4 of these first round picks, we'll give you Jaylen Brown, we'll give you Jason Tatum? Would you pull the trigger then?
And I know you're going way, like, you're just going far-fetched. I get it. Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Yeah,
yes, I would. In a heartbeat.
I feel like I would.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, I feel like I would do that trade too. But yeah, I agree with you. No piece on the team is untradeable. The only players I think in the league are truly untradeable is probably LeBron, KD, and Steph. Everybody else can get traded, in my opinion. But those are like the only players that I think won't get traded in their careers. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and the thing is, like, for someone like KP, it would have to be so great, right? That most people are going to be like, well, that's not going to happen, and it probably isn't going to happen, you know? But, you know, if a team like Boston was giving up that kind of farm, yeah, I'd do it quick.
Yeah.
You know, I'd do it quick before they change their mind.
Yeah, and also I also want to say this about, you know, the chat. Like, every time I'm on here, everybody just keeps beating the dead horse. Like, we get it, you know, we're trash. Like, we're not going to be good this year. But, you know, I feel like everybody says the same thing in different words, you know. I feel like we need to bring some fresh energy into the chat and talk about some other stuff.
Okay.
You know,
I feel you, homie.
But, you know, I respect everybody in the chat. That's why I listen all the time, because I like everybody. I like everybody's personality that they bring. And, you know, it makes it very colorful. But I think we're going a bit too much to the dark side, you know, like too much negative energy, because, you know, everyone knows the chat, like everyone knows the team's bad. So I feel like we should talk about, like, you know, like the bright spots that we have, or maybe the G League, what's going on there, you know,
what's good with, what's good with our overseas prospects that we have. I still remember Phil Jackson drafted that one point guard in Europe. Maybe we could talk about him, how he's doing, how he's developing. Maybe we can bring him on from the summer league, talk about everybody else that's going. Like, I just don't feel like we should talk about just how bad the Knicks are, because, we already know how bad they are. We know. And none of us are, on the training staff or on the coaching staff. So we can't properly get our message across about how bad. And I think Fizdale knows that, like, we're bad, but I think we could definitely, just have some fun talking about it,
All right.
If we get the first pick and we get Zion or we get RJ, and and if we get like a good free agent, then I know everybody here is gonna be hyped for the next year. So
of
it's
course.
like this year,
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, this year we're
that's
done.
The way it goes.
We should just shut it down. We should focus about the Westchester Knicks. I heard they're good. They're first in the East in the G League. So maybe, like, what do you think? Like, do you think, for example, like, do you think we should pick up LiAngelo Ball on the G League team or something like that? Just take a flyer on somebody.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about LiAngelo Ball, but I tell you, me and the Prince, we got something cooking for the G League. So I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag.
Okay.
But hey, stay in the chat. Stay in the chat, my man. All right, I'm gonna get and go through the recap and get a couple of phone calls. All right, and then we're gonna start talking about. We're gonna start talking about these trades and get into the weeds a little bit with these trades. All right. So make sure you stay up with us. Let me get to a phone call real quick. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
Hey, what's going on with you, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. Real good. How was your holidays? How were your holidays?
They were great, man. They were great.
Great. Glad to hear it.
How are yours? Everything good?
Everything was good, man. Everything was nice. Beautiful holidays. So tell me, man, how you what do you think? What's going on with you? What are you thinking about the team right now?
I'm thinking the team's doing exactly what we thought we were going to do in the beginning. Like, when we were all listening to the chat and listening to the show over the summer. 90% of the chat and everybody else, we all knew we were losing this year. So I don't know why everybody's up in arms about losing. We're gonna lose. We were hoping we didn't win 20 games so we could get a number one pick. Porzingis is out the whole year, so I don't understand why. We're 10 and 30, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to be horrible."
Yeah, I think it's more just the losing. I don't think people really care too much about the actual losing. I think some people, at least in the video chat and otherwise, are really just talking about the establishment of some type of philosophy, things that Fizdale wants to do, so that we can start to see it come to fruit. Because
I agree on that.
I think it has to do with that.
I'm a little nervous about the whole Fizdale thing, just because, it has been 40 games and we're still teaching. This should be already put in place. But I just think our personnel is bad. I mean,
well, we definitely
we don't have our star.
Yeah, and
we have our guys playing out of position. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. is not a number one scorer. We're seeing that now. Enes Kanter is the sixth man. He shouldn't even be. He should have never been entertained as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're seeing him getting frustrated because he wanted to go to the All-Star so he could bump his money up for next year. And it's not going to happen because he's not that guy. I mean, I'm just getting a little worried that it's starting to be the same old Knicks, because there's moves to be made if you want to make this team better for the future. And I just don't see we're making them. I see we're just sitting on our hands.
Well, we still got some time to the trade deadline. Let's see what happens come the trade deadline.
I mean, the trade deadline is the trade deadline, but I mean,
you're talking about internal developmental moves.
We know we've needed an inside presence since the beginning of the season. We were I called, 2 months ago and said, hey, what we need is another inside presence. We don't have it. We haven't seen it yet. We know we needed to get rid of that glut of guards. We haven't gotten rid of one guard all year. I mean, there's no team that could have taken one of our 12 guards.
Well,
it just seems ridiculous that we haven't made a small ancillary move to help better our team for the future. Even if we get a guy and waive him for a second-round pick. I mean,
I see what you're saying. I think that some other factors come into play. Like, a lot of teams, unless it's something really big, like Philadelphia did with Jimmy Butler. And sometimes there are some small, like you said, ancillary things. But also a lot of teams wait until that December 15th deadline to really start moving, right? Because that's when players who were signed during the offseason can be traded, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of teams wait, and then you hit December the 15th, and you got Christmas and you got New Year's. And I'm sure there are conversations going around, going down then, but teams don't really start getting serious because it takes two teams to make a trade, to make a move. Teams don't really start getting serious until around this time. We're like a month away from the deadline. This is when teams really start to get serious.
Yeah. Well,
so we'll see if those ancillary moves come.
Yeah, I just want to see something. I mean, I can't possibly think we're gonna. It's getting from bad to worse because you're just seeing guys like Schreier and guys like even Frank on somewhere. They're spinning their heels because we got guys that have to play. We have to give them minutes. We have to, where they should be getting a bulk of the minutes because, we got rid of those guys we have to play to try to trade them. And other than that, the only thing I'm really nervous about is the KP thing. I mean,
we're
all worried about free agents.
Yeah, we're gonna get into KP a little bit tonight. Yeah. Let me get on to the recap, man. I appreciate you calling in. Let me get on to the recap,
no problem,
and then we're gonna get in and talk of some of these trades and stuff. All right, appreciate it, bro. Have a good one. Great weekend. Peace. Big shout out. Let me give a big shout out to Mighty Knicks. He says Phil Jackson got rid of all these low. Let me start over. Big shout out to Mighty Knicks. Says Phil Jackson got rid of all these low IQ American players. Now be happy with Tim Hardaway Jr., Burke, Boudier, and Cantor instead of Luka, Frank, Willie, and KP. Well, that was one of Phil Jackson's goals, is to fill the team up with high IQ players. Listen, I've always said that I thought Phil Jackson, I'm not going to get into a whole thing on Phil Jackson, but I always thought Phil Jackson had the right philosophy and the right idea. He just didn't know how to go about implementing it, in my opinion. And he let his ego kind of get in the way. And by philosophy, I don't mean the triangle offense. I just mean a philosophy of play. His philosophy of play was the triangle. It didn't have to be the triangle. So, that's that. But anyway, getting back to the Real Shark Fin. Thank you for the super chat. Said big shout out to the chat. Development consists of mental development as well as physical development. And losing weakens the mental aspect of development. Losing like this on a nightly basis does. Losing when you play, in my opinion, losing when you play tight games. Let's say the Knicks we're 10-31, 10-32, whatever we are. But, 90% of our games came down to the wire and we just couldn't finish. I think that's good development because eventually you'll learn how to get over it, right? You'll learn how to get over that hump. The way we're losing now, it's tough. It's tough. You can still have individual development, I think. But as a team, obviously, you're not going to develop. And while this season isn't or wasn't about winning games, your team can still develop to take things on into the next year. I don't know if we're doing it. I don't know. As a matter of fact, next Monday night at 8:30, I'm going to do a mid-season report. It's going to be live, a mid-season report on the Knicks. And I'm going to give my grades out for players. I'm going to give my grades out for the coaching staff. I'm going to give my grades out for the front office. That's next Monday at 8:30. So, be there for that. There's no game Monday night, but be there for it. All right. Big shout out to Marty Knicks again. Said, I'm selling my Knicks fandom if we draft Zion. Shake my head. How much you selling it for, Marty? I just want to know how much you're selling it for. And then Ralph says, Marty, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Don't sell it. Don't sell it. Keep the Knicks fandom. Keep it, man. Keep it, Marty. Just keep it, because it's going to be some stuff coming around. We'll be back. We're going to be back. Gotta trust it. We're going to be back. It may take a little longer than you expected, but we're going to be back. All right, let's review. Let's take a look at the game and some of the stats, and then we're going to get into these trade rumors and all this kind of stuff. All right, let's rock with it right now. As you can see, the Knicks lost to the Indiana Pacers 121-106 at Madison Square Garden. The Pacers, coming off of being blown out by the Boston Celtics, had bad intentions coming into this game. You know what I'm saying? Bad intentions coming to this game. D. Grant, you said, Sim, you can say what you want, but bottom line, Knicks don't have defensive foundation. Well, I agree with you. We don't have a defensive foundation. I agree with you 100%. 100%. We don't have a defensive foundation at all. No argument with me there, my friend. The Knicks lost the first quarter 31-22. Tried to make a push in the second quarter, but ended up getting ran out the last 3 minutes of the quarter as the Pacers went on a 12-0 run. And the Knicks lost the second quarter 33-30 to be down 12 at the half. Third quarter, the Knicks couldn't buy a quarter in this game. Third quarter, the Knicks lost 32-30. Fourth quarter, the Knicks lost 25-24. By then, the game was done. It was out of reach. Everything was pointless. What did it? Why? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the numbers behind the game. The biggest lead by the Pacers was 21. And even though that, the 21-point lead isn't like crazy wild, right? It's comebackable. If that's a word, comebackable. It's comebackable. But the Knicks, there were no, the energy wasn't there, right? You didn't feel that the Knicks were going to come back. The energy wasn't there. We knew they weren't coming back. Indiana Pacers shot 52.1% from the field, 46.2% from the three-point line. They were 12 of 26 from the three-point line, 11 for 11 from the free throw line. The Knicks were out-rebounded 47-37. And like I said earlier, this will be something that happens every night without Cantor there. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying don't trade him. I'm just saying it is what it is. It is what it is. The Knicks had 22 assists tonight. Indiana Pacers, 30 assists. The Knicks a little bit better than their average. The Knicks had 8 steals. The Pacers, 8 steals. The Knicks with 5 blocks tonight. The Pacers with 1 block. The Knicks had 16 turnovers. The Pacers with 14. From the field, the Knicks shot 44.3% from the field. They shot 35.9% from the three-point line and 87.5% from the free throw line. The Knicks made 14 to 16 free throws. They were 14 to 39 from the three-point line, so they made more three-pointers than the Indiana Pacers. Now, one of the things, and it's a good thing that the Knicks made more three-pointers, but they also took 39 three-pointers. And when you when you take 3-pointers and you miss, that leads out to long rebounds, and teams that can run, they're going to capitalize off of those long rebounds. That's one of the scary things about shooting 3-point, shooting a lot of 3-point shots. If you're not shooting at a high clip, teams are going to get out and run on you. You got to have guys that's going to get back and play defense, right? You got to have guys that are going to get back, cut the ball off, play defense. The Knicks shot, like I said, 44.3% from the field. They only got up 88 shots. They only made 39 of them. So the Indiana Pacers made 10 more shots than the New York Knicks from the field. Okay. We talked about the Knicks playing. If you looked at the pregame, we talked about the Knicks playing a faster pace tonight to try to beat Indiana's defense up the floor. Indiana is, as far as their defensive rating is concerned, the number 2 defensive team in the league. All right, let's take a look at the pointless box score stats for the New York Knicks. We'll come on over here to the Knicks first. We'll start with the Knicks. Kevin Knox tonight, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers. Noah Vonleh, decent outing. Had 4 turnovers tonight. He had 12 points, 83.3% from the field. Luke Cornett, 3 points, 3 rebounds. Tim Hardaway Jr. shot 36.4% from the field for 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Emmanuel Mudiay had 21 points, all in the second half. He also had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 turnovers. And although he had 21 points in the second half, Mudiay didn't really play that good of a basketball game tonight. Mario Hezonja had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals tonight for Mario Hezonja. Alonzo Trier, 5 points. He had 5 points at the half. He ended the game with 5 points. Trey Burke had 12 points, 3 assists. Damian Dotson, 15 points. A resurgence for Damian Dotson. Damian Dotson had been missing for a couple of games. And when I say missing, I don't mean missing from the field. I mean just missing. I didn't know what was up with Damian Dotson because he started the season so strong. And then, he kind of had a low. And maybe it was just a drought. Hopefully he's back and he's back for good. And we're talking about these trade rumors. That's one guy. I do not want to be in a trade rumor. I do not want to be in a trade. I like Damian Dotson. I like that he plays defense. I like that he understands when and where to get his shots. He doesn't force anything. He makes the right pass, the good pass. He may not go for the superstar pass, but he just makes the pass to get the job done. He hustles, on both sides of the floor. He's probably our best two-way player on the team right now. I like Damian Dotson. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's other teams that like Damian Dotson as well, which is one of the reasons that I'm afraid that his name will come up in trade rumors, which I'm sure they will come up, but that the Knicks may be enticed to move him if they get the right piece back, which could be anything. Or, it could be salary cap space. It could be a first round or second round pick. Who knows? Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, but I like to see Damian Dotson sticking around for a little while. The Indiana Pacers, we'll go over their stats. I'm gonna start with Domantas Sabonis because we talked about him earlier. He did it to us again. 22 points and 15 rebounds. The kid loves playing at the Garden. He seems to love playing the New York Knicks. Maybe it's just a good matchup, but he smacks us every time he plays us. Victor Oladipo tonight, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 turnovers for Oladipo tonight. Darren Collison has 7 points, 10 assists. Again, like I said, Domantas Sabonis. Oh, I don't need to go back to Domantas Sabonis. Thaddeus Young had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Bogdanovich had 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Off the bench, Tyreke Evans had 12 points and 6 rebounds. Doug McDermott, former New York Knick Doug McDermott, had 12 points. That's the rundown of the game, folks. The rundown of the game. All right, so now that we hit the rundown of the game, like my man in the chat said, no sense in continuing to bash the New York Knicks, right? Doesn't make sense to do that. Let's talk trades. Let's talk trades, trade rumors that's going around the New York Knicks right now. Listen, I really did think that the Knicks were going to be silent at the trade deadline, and they could very well still be silent and quiet at the trade deadline. Right now, you know, everything that's going around now is just rumors. It's all rumors. Nothing solid. It's rumors, but we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about them. So let's get to it. Let's get to it and see what we got cooking up here. You know, we got a chat. The chat's building. Mark just joined us in the chat. You know, got something to say. Travis, you said I ignored your super chat. Well, let me go back and check that out before I move forward. I didn't mean to. You might have put it up there before, you know, while I was reading that. Let's see. Travis, I appreciate you for the super chat. He said, you think we're going to make the playoffs next year? You know what? I can't even make that prediction, Travis. I don't know. Because I don't know what we're going to do in the offseason. I don't know what's going to happen with the draft. Who knows? I think, you know, right now, it's very hard to say if the Knicks are going to make the playoffs next season. I'm just not sure. I can't call it right now. You know what I mean? If the Knicks will make the playoffs next season, I certainly hope that we make the playoffs next season. You know, we hope that we have KP back next season. We're going to talk about Kristaps Porzingis a little bit. You know, hopefully, you know, if we don't do see the issue with next season is if we do not get we don't make any kind of a splash or any kind of move in free agency, then the smart move for the Knicks is to not really spend the money or to only do 1-year deals. That would be the smart move. Right? And so then you're back in the same situation. You got a draft pick. Maybe you probably got KP hopefully coming back. You got a bunch of young guys, and then you got guys on 1-year deals. Right? And you're kind of back in the same situation. Maybe you're a little bit better. Maybe you have a little bit better of a foundation. And then again, you're looking to the 2020 free agency. So we'll see how it goes. That's all I can say. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes from now until the end of July. You know, then I think we'll have a better idea then. You know what I mean? Have a much better idea. But listen, the East is going to get stronger. Teams are going to get stronger. And it's going to be a tough task for the Knicks to make the playoffs, I think, next year as well. I think it'll be tough. Depending on what happens at free agency, it could not be tough. All right, but let's get to these trade rumors. Let's talk about it real quick. All right, chat, I hope you guys are listening up because we're about to get into these trade rumors. We're going to start off. We're going to give you a primer. We're going to give you a primer. All right, we're going to give you a little bit of a primer. The first thing I want to talk about, and I'll bring it up and then we'll get to the chat. Noah Vonleh, the Sixers. And right now, obviously, these are rumors. All right. But Sean Devaney, hopefully I said his name correctly, from the Sporting News, says the Sixers are another team willing to part. And here is the key. Willing to part with this year's pick. 2019 pick. Willing to part with the 2019 pick for immediate shooting help as Philly looks for a big man who can shoot along the lines of Mike Scott, Frank Kaminsky, or Noah Vonleh. The Sixers gave up Dario Saric, you know who he is, in the Jimmy Butler deal and miss his ability to stretch the floor. That's interesting. Because Mark brought this up in the pregame. He asked the question, would I trade Noah Vonleh if they were giving up a first round pick? And I asked him, is it this year? Is it next year? When is the first round pick? He wasn't sure. He wasn't sure. So apparently, Mark, it's this year. I'll read it again one last time, then I'm coming to you, Mark. The Sixers are another team willing to part with this year's, the 2019 draft pick for immediate shooting help, as Philly looks for a big man who can shoot, along with the lines of Mike Scott, Frank Kaminsky, or Noah Vonleh. They gave up Dario, and I'm struggling with his last name. They gave up Dario in the Jimmy Butler deal and missed his ability to stretch the floor. All right, so Mark, I'm going to come to you first. Tell me your thoughts on that right there.
Listen, for us to be getting a #1 pick for Vonleh, that is a heist. That is a heist. And on top of that, the reason why that's a heist, because next year, if Vonleh plays the way he's playing, which is, phenomenal for what he is right now, he's going to demand a type of money that we can't dip in. We can't dip into no money to give him that type of money. So for us getting a first round pick for this year, that is a heist. That is a heist. You do that as soon as they call you.
That would be. Hey, could you do me a favor? Can you turn that down in the back?
Oh, my bad. I forgot I was watching the Lakers game. Felt good. But anyway, that's a heist. That is a heist. If they call you with that, you take it.
Now, I see 1000K baby says you don't trade Vonleh. So 1000K, you're telling me you don't trade Vonleh even if it's for a first round draft pick? This year's first round draft pick? Philly's pick is probably going to be low, right?
It's going to be like 28, 29,
something like that. But we're in a situation where we can't pass up on any kind of first round talent. Now,
you crazy.
But now Noah Vonleh is also a first round talent, right? That maybe is just beginning to come into his own.
But you got to understand, Sim. Are you willing to pay him over minimum, over vet's minimum? Because he's going to get paid at least $8 million to over that. Are you willing to pay him that money? This is the dilemma the Knicks is in. We cannot play these players.
But how much is that going to be? Because if you get a first round draft pick, you're going to be guaranteed to pay him some money too.
Yeah, but those late first rounds aren't going to be paid like the lottery first round picks.
No,
they don't get paid like that. They don't get paid like that.
They don't get paid like that. Noah Vonleh this year, right now, let me pull it up. He's making like $1 million whatever. His salary was just guaranteed. I think January the 7th, his salary was guaranteed, right? So he's not making a ton of money this year.
No, not this year. But the way he's playing, he's very skillful. He can do a lot of things. Teams are going to play him at least. They're going to pay him at least $8 million just for 1 year.
You think
if it's 1 year, because any team will use that type of talent right now because he can guard, he can defend guards and defend big men and run the floor and dribble the ball. He's showing out talent that he never showed anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true. Noah Vonleh makes $1.6 million this year. That is true. He's showing talent that he hasn't showed in other places, but he's also playing for a team that's 10-32.
Yeah, but the
things that I see him do, I think will translate to any other team. Though I do believe that. I do believe that.
And you got to understand, even if there's not a lot of teams that will give him that money, there's always that one team that will give a player money. That's just how it is. It's just like now people talk about Moutier now. If we take this, if we pay him, we can't pay him that money. We can't. So we're trying to eliminate money because the one thing we have to do, if we can't get Tim Hardaway's contract, if we can't get rid of that, that's going to be sad for us.
Well, that definitely.
Really sad for us.
If we can't get rid of Tim Hardaway's contract, which I really don't think we're going to. Honestly,
well, no, hold on.
Then this year's 2019, we're not going to be making any kind of big moves, in my opinion, if we don't get rid of his contract. because
that
a big guy,
contract.
a guy like KD or something, he's gonna want to come with it. He would want the Knicks to put players around him. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not overly excited about bringing KD to New York anyway. Not because of his talent.
I wish it was Kawhi over KD. For me,
not because of his talent. Obviously, he's all world. Maybe he's going to be taking over as the best player in the league soon. Who knows? Maybe he already is. I guess it depends on your perspective and your opinion. But he's going to be 31, right? And when you're 31 years old, you don't go from a team that's winning championships to a team that's not winning championships and be content with trying to build up for another 2 to 3 years. No, you don't. If you're going to move to another team, you want to know that this team is going to contend. You know what I'm saying? When you're 31 and
that was my big gripe.
You want to know that this team is going to contend. Now, LeBron is a different story. Right? LeBron, him going to LA is something totally different there, in my opinion. It's just a different story. LeBron still has, I knew. See, there we go. LeBron
don't have nothing to prove no more. He can end his career today, and he has nothing to prove. Durant has another 5-6 years in this league to
he has some things to prove himself. And LeBron though also has a different power in the NBA, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why all these players are making power moves.
Yeah, I just think it's different with LeBron going to LA, because anywhere that LeBron goes to, in my opinion, anywhere that LeBron goes to, he has the power in the NBA, to be able to build a team quickly. Mm-hmm. Right, and he gets the treatment of a general manager, right?
Yeah, that's what Durant want right now.
Where he's able to be able to say, yeah, let's bring in this person, that person, that person, because he's demanded that much respect. I don't think Kevin Durant is looked at in that same kind of light. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Kevin Durant is going to a team and is able to do those type of things. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And then of course LeBron, is going to LA. He's got a few other aspirations going to LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not just the basketball. It's more about his son, the business being there, just more opportunities from him being from Cleveland.
Yeah. So I just think that's different. Everybody else besides LeBron, I don't think you're going from Golden State.
But if you look at what KD's doing right now, though, it's everything that LeBron did. Because he did it first, it's a little different. But what KD just did, what KD moved was, he just did it better. Like at the end of the day, he just did it better.
I mean,
he just did it better.
But we'll see if he has that kind of power and ability. See, LeBron, it's just different. When every team,
but let me tell you this. The only reason why he went to Cleveland is because he saw Kyrie there. That was the only reason why.
But my thing is that he's seen Kyrie there, yes. And he went there because he knew he was going with a younger team. And then he was able to then pull in Kevin Love. And then he had all these other veterans come behind him, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think KD has that same kind of pull. This is my opinion. He was. I don't think he has that same kind of pull. I don't think he does. That's my opinion. I don't think he has that same kind of pull. But let me get to some more opinions about Vonleh. I'm gonna get to this phone call. Then I'm gonna get to some more opinions. You're still live, Mark. You're still live. Call it. You're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's going on, man?
What's good? We talking about Noah Vonleh, and if you would move Noah Vonleh for this year's first round draft pick. From Philadelphia, that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't wait. Of course, I would get rid of him. Not even for the simple fact who's Mark says, because he has a good point. We're not going to be able to pay him. I don't know if he's going to command $8 million, but definitely like 5 to 6, something around there. Somebody might give him a 2-year, $12 million contract, something like that.
Okay.
But the KD coming, that'll be a present from, you know what I mean? It'll be a blessing, but I'm not looking forward to it. Like, as far as getting my hopes up for it, I'm thinking like maybe we should get our hopes up for maybe like a what's the point guard for Charlotte?
Kemba Walker.
Kemba.
Oh,
maybe we can shoot for him. Maybe we can shoot for Kemba. And if you look at it, KP come back, we sign Kemba for like 4 years because he's like 31 or something around there.
Bro,
so we signed Kemba for 4 years, and we got a draft pick coming out. We can just do our thing slowly. We ain't gotta hit the home run this year. Because that's what I think we set ourselves up for failure the last time when we thought we was getting LeBron. He just laughed at us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I think we just need to slow down and think about Kemba, man. I think.
But see, I feel like that's
paid too much.
But see, I feel like that's the same thing with Kemba and KD. They're gonna be around the same age, right? How old is Kemba Walker right now?
Kemba is 29.
29 years old. 29 years old. He's gonna be looking. You know, you bring in Kemba Walker. He's not going to be content with. He's been on a squad where he's not winning, right? I think if he moves in free agency, I don't think he's going to a team that's going to be that is going to be. I think he wants to go to a team that's going to be, you know, playoff bound, a perennial playoff team. Because
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why you don't think if we get an all-star with KP coming, why you don't think we could do a turnaround like Boston did with that? They was the worst team in the league and they turned around next year. Why you don't think, not saying we could do exactly that, but why you don't think we could do a good playoff run next year?
Because I don't think we have the pieces. And I don't think we have the pieces, and I don't think we have an identity. Maybe if we had an identity as a team, right, then we would then we'd understand the kind of pieces we want in free agency to be able to put together a team that could, you know, make some kind of a playoff run. But I don't think we have any kind of identity. I feel like when we come in next year,
that's too much.
I feel like when we come in next year, we're gonna be starting over, establishing an identity. Honestly, I feel like we're gonna be starting over, brand new, establishing our identity.
One more point before I let you go.
All right.
Before I get out of here. Next year, as we coming in, you know how they say, if we do land a big fish in free agency, that attracts other people to want to come play because they're going to look at our young players like they looked at LA's young players, and they're going to want to come play with LeBron. Not only because he got young players there too. We're going to have young players. We're going to have Knox. We're going to have whoever's coming out the draft. We're getting the top 4 pick this year. You know what I mean? And this draft is loaded. So we're going to have that. We're going to have KP coming back. And I'm really thinking we're going to, maybe not Kevin Durant, but we're going to sign somebody good this year. Like, I'm thinking a star. Like, you never know. It could be Kawhi. It could be Clay. You never know who could come. It could be anybody come. We're going to grab somebody this year. It's not going to be Durant, though. You know what I mean? That's Montana signing out, man. The chat.
All right.
What you think about that?
All right. Peace. And you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna say we're not. I feel like I don't think our record is not gonna have anything to do with it. I don't think free agents are gonna look and say, oh, you know, they only won 15 games or whatever. I don't think that's gonna have anything to do with it. I think if we only won 15 games, but they seen us working towards something, and then we made the right maneuvers to have cap space to be able to add the pieces in, I don't think they would care because they could see the plan. Right now, I'm not sure. I mean, it's been other coaches who have said, you know, I can see what Atlanta is trying to do. I can see what this team is trying to do. Yeah. I'm not sure what the Knicks are trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a deterrent for free agents. Free agents, in today's day and age, the record doesn't mean too much. It's all about what the front office can do. And I'm not saying our front office isn't capable. I think we have a good front office. I think Scott Perry is very good. We just haven't proved it yet. You know what I'm saying? If we make some if we make a move and are able to move Tim Hardaway's contract, then my whole outlook will be different. Because then I think free agents are going to be like, yo, I think they know what they're doing. And now you got the money so that when somebody comes, you can put other pieces around them, other vets around them. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna have a real contending team, you gotta have a couple vets there that's gonna do it, that can do it, that can teach, that can help, that can be there you can rely on them when you really need them the most. You know what I mean? So that's my take. That's my take on that. We'll see about. I'm not saying we can't make it next year. I'm not saying we can't. It's gonna depend on what happens in the trade deadline, free agency, trade deadline, the draft, free agency, and then we can really make an opinion. And what happens with KP? I'm not putting that out the water either about what happens with KP over the summer and all that. Go ahead, Mark, and then I'm gonna get to this phone call.
But are you willing to pay Kimba $30 million?
Kimba? Nah, I mean, honestly, I don't really have Kemba on my radar that much.
I seen him on the jump the other day. Charlotte is the only team that's going to give him that money.
Yeah.
He's looking for money right now. He's really looking for that money right now because he was on a $12 million deal. He wants that money, and he's 29 years old. He wants that last bigger money. And I'm not paying Kimba $30 million if I don't have a star that's bigger and better than him. Now, if KD came and we had to deal with Kimba, but not at that price, I wouldn't mind Kimba then.
Right. Yeah.
But Kimba to come here along with KP, that's too much money. That's too much money for a 5'10" guard. He's good. He's good.
I mean, the dude can ball.
He's good.
He can flat out hoop. He can flat out hoop. Let me get to the caller, man. We haven't heard from my man in a while, but he's back in the building. Tony Crow, what's popping?
Yo, Blackest Time. Shout out to the chat. It was good. Son.
I'm chilling, man.
Skinny Crow.
I'm chilling. How you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been working. I'm still tuning in.
That's what's up, man.
You'll see some clips of you in the background. You was playing in the background.
Okay.
But I'm pretty optimistic about our future, about us making the playoffs next year. I look at it like this. Right now, well, I don't know what the records are right now today, but I know a couple of days ago, the Nets were like 7th seed. I think yesterday they were like 8th seed.
Yeah.
We're just as good as them. The thing about the Nets, and I said this last year, is their core has been together for a couple of years.
Yeah. 3 years at least.
They're a couple of years older than us.
Uh-huh.
Like, we're what, the second youngest team in the league right now?
Right.
We give our young guys a chance to develop together. We would definitely be better than the Nets. Because I don't think the Nets are much better than us right now today. I think they're more experienced. But talent-wise, no way. Now you put KP in the mix.
Uh-huh.
Now, granted, let's hope he's the same KP. But if he's half of the KP he was, I mean, I think that still puts us at an 8th seed with our young guys develop. The question is, who are we going to bring back out of these young guys?
Right.
Because I believe they're all free agents.
A lot of them. Mario's a free agent. Moutier's a free agent.
He could go.
Is going to be a free agent.
So yeah. I'm interested to see if we could keep 2 of these guys. Because I think a lot of them are going to get offered pretty decent contracts, and I don't know if we want to spend that money to re-sign them.
Right. See, I think if we don't,
He's on the top of my list right now
as a guy to keep.
Absolutely.
As a guy to keep. Okay. Now, if Philadelphia offers a first round pick for him, right now, if we look at Tankathon, you look at I lost it, but Philadelphia is somewhere around 28 or 26, 27, something like that. Let me try to pull that up again. I can tell you right now. Philadelphia is 25, so it'd be the 25th pick. Would you trade Noah Vonleh for the 25th pick if Philadelphia is willing to give it up?
I don't think I would, not Vonleh, unless he's not planning on keeping him. Now, I would probably have to have a conversation with him and find out what it's going to take to keep him going forward.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, if he was under contract for one more year, I wouldn't do it. The fact that he's a free agent, I would definitely consider it. Because we don't know if we're going to get him back. We don't know where he's going to be offered elsewhere opposed to what we're willing to spend.
Right.
So I would say just because he's a free agent, I would do it.
Bro, that's a first-round pick, bro.
Because he's a free agent, I would do it. If he was under contract one more year, I wouldn't. I think his value as being experienced and still young, whatever we get at the 24th pick, we're going to have to develop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Possibly, unless unless you go out like Phil Jackson was trying to do when we had like late first round picks. He was looking at seniors, right?
Yeah.
You look at seniors, guys that could possibly come in and contribute right away. That is a tactic that you could use. If you expect that you're going to sign somebody, big and. Those type of things, bringing a senior that maybe can contribute right away. But I think you're right, though. I think for the most part, I think you're right. You probably
one more point about seniors. Because he's a big that has more. Because seniors who come in the league and are ready are most likely wings and guards. You know what I mean? Big seniors don't usually develop into more than. End of the bench.
Yeah.
End of the bench player.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah. Let me see what else. Let me see what some other people in the chat think. I'm gonna come around. I'm gonna come to Viv, then Guillermo, and I'm gonna see what C-Dog's talking about on this Noah Vonleh thing. Viv, what do you think, man?
Yeah.
Oh, hey Viv, you there? Oh, yeah, you there? Viv.
Nah, Derrick Rose just looked good because
I don't think Viv can hear me. Yo,
Viv.
So
Sim talking to you.
There we. All right.
It's him.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
All right. So, what do you think? What's your Noah Vonleh? What's your take?
So, the whole Noah Vonleh to Philly thing. I discussed it before. With one of the guys who actually writes for the Sixers, part-time now. So I actually thought about the Vonleh idea to Philly about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And actually, the discussion started a little earlier, sometime in November. But it actually involved Markelle Fultz at the time. But now that's a whole. We're gonna dump that issue then. So I thought of an idea at the time was just to include Vonleh in a deal and just get back. Wilson Chandler's expiring contract, and I would have been fine with even the Bulls second round pick because they have the Bulls second round pick, which is basically the equivalent to a late first round pick, or if they're willing to give us their own first round pick, which is I think is going to be late anyways. I'd take either one at the moment because here's the thing, right? Noah Vonleh's a minimum contract at this moment, and we don't have his bird rights, right? So by the time July hits, he's just going to be an unrestricted free agent. And we know based on what the market will probably dictate, I think he will get somewhere in the vicinity of what Doug McDermott made this past offseason, which is I think like 3 years, $22 million, maybe more than that. He could get somewhere around $10 million a year. And even if we go after a max player, it won't give us any room to sign him. So there's going to be a need for someone like him in this trade deadline market. So I think even though we have a sentimental value, like we may have, sentiment towards him in that way, but we have to look in the bigger picture that if we can't afford him, let's at least try to get an asset back that we can try to find, maybe someone in the draft that can replace him.
Yeah.
So my ideal was if we can give Philly, say, have them take Courtney Lee, right? Because they always need those type of guys who can do it. If they can take Courtney Lee and Vonleh, and if we just take back Wilson Chandler and, you know, even the Bulls' second-round pick, or if they give us their first-round pick, great, right? I would be happy with that.
Oh my
I was
God.
trying, actually, honestly. Sorry, go ahead, Sid.
No, now, yeah, Doug McDermott got 3 years, $22 million. He's making $7.3 million a year until 2021. And Doug McDermott doesn't do half the things that Noah Vonleh does. Doesn't do half the things.
And the only reason he got paid this much money is because of the half season he was with the Knicks, and Kyle O'Quinn fed him all of those cuts off the flex cuts. They saw that value in him. That's how he got that big contract.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Sam.
It really does make a tough situation for the Knicks, because eventually you're going to need a guy like Noah Vonleh. But the problem is you probably don't want to pay him that money now, right? You don't want to. You probably don't want to pay him. Not probably. You don't want to pay him a multi-year deal now until you have your big pieces.
Fish.
You know what I'm saying? You have your big fish locked down. Now you start paying people multi-year contracts around those guys. That's the problem.
Also, the other question, Sim, is when KP comes back, which he will come back. Vonleh is probably going to be a bench player. So are you going to give him starter money for starting forward money for, coming off the bench? Right. Like, are you going to give $10 million to a bench player or somewhere around that vicinity?
Right. But he's a switch army. Like, he could fill in at the 4. He could fill in at the 5. He come off the bench.
That's true. That is true. He has
a lot of value. Like, he's more valuable than Kyle Quinn was, and I love Kyle Quinn. But
Kyle Quinn only got. But Kyle Quinn only got $4.5 million. He didn't get a lot of money, despite what we perceived as him being quite valuable. Now, Noah Vonleh, obviously, he has a lot more higher ceiling than Kyle Quinn did.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know if you want to give someone like him $10 million, especially if you're in a position that you can get someone in a max contract caliber. If you get a good trade offer, it might just be worth taking that offer, because there's no guarantee.
Yeah. I'm gonna come back to you, Viv. I'm gonna come back to you. Guillermo, what do you think? Then I'm coming to C-Dog. Guillermo, what do you think, man?
You trade Vonleh to the Sixers?
To the Sixers for their first round draft pick, or if anything else comes up.
If you gave me a first round draft pick, I'd take that in an instant. If you gave me a second round draft pick and some talent, I might take it. But a first round draft pick, hell yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like Vonleh, and Vonleh I think is a borderline first round talent. Because look what he's doing. Like, if you put him in expansive offense, the guy can hit threes, he can back down smaller guys, he has a little hook shot, and he's a guy who plays off confidence. And trade him off, but he's not a transcendent talent where it's like, oh crap, we're giving up, Jamal Murray, somebody who can get you 30, 40 wins off the strength. So if the Sixers want to be that desperate, go ahead. Sim, at the beginning of this year, didn't we say that we need to be the team that kind of, not leeches, but kind of be the one that plays off of dumb GMs and gets these guys to give us talent or give us draft picks that are more advantageous to us? So, hey, if that's the case, I'll do it in a heartbeat, man. I'm not saying he's not a building piece, but first round draft pick? Okay. Come on, man. Look, and this is a team, and I'll give it to the Knicks. This last draft, even though Trier's struggling, I'll say it's one of the best drafts the Knicks have had. So if they could take that first round draft pick and get a guy who other people don't see as that good or whatever, and he can come to our team and produce, hey, I'll take that in instance, man.
All right. Let me get the C-Dog, and then I'm going to move on from there. We're going to talk about cancer. C-Dog, what do you think?
I don't mind. I don't mind trading him. I don't mind. Hey, trade him and Moody. I'll be extra happy.
I don't think Moutier I don't think the Sixers want to have anything to do with Moutier, man.
Why not? He ain't making that much money.
Yeah, I don't. I just and I don't think they want to have anything to do with him. I think they got, you know. I think they probably feel pretty comfortable with it. What do they want with him? I think they probably feel if they would want Moutier, they might as well keep Fultz and try to let Fultz, you know.
Fultz is there. Moutier gonna roll his stock enough. He can help the super.
Okay.
Ship his ass over there.
Hey, we'll see.
Nah, but I put in mind trading Kansas. Really, I want to trade Kansas to a lot of teams, but they got to be the Sixers. Let it be the Sixers.
Well, I mean, I think if we trade, so we might as well get to that now.
Yo, Mark, can you hear me?
We might as well get to that now.
Mark, can you hear me?
Talk about Cantor. And that's Cantor, folks, and you guys already know this, so this is nothing new to you all. Couple days ago, 2 days ago, whatever it is, you know, it came out that New York and Sacramento, this is Woj, right, from ESPN, New York and Sacramento discussing an Enes Kanter, Zach Randolph trade of expiring contracts. But nothing is close yet, league sources tell ESPN. Kings would want to send out more expirings in a deal. A third team could be helpful. A third team is not necessary for the Kings to send out more expiring contracts, though. All right, it's not necessary because the Kings, they've got, listen, the Kings, well, we'll get to the Kings' salary. All right, so that's the first piece to it. That's the first piece to it. Now, we look a little bit deeper. We go a little bit deeper into it. All right. Enes Kanter makes $18,622,514 this year. Zach Randolph makes $11,692,308 this year. Okay. In order to make this trade happen, you got to make the salaries match. So the Kings would need to find another $7 million basically to make these salaries match. All right, now it doesn't have to match fully. They can go a little above, they can go a little bit lower. I think it's like 25% or whatever it is, right? All right, you know, within 25% or something like that, you can make that trade. All right. But the Kings would like to get a third person involved because maybe there's some pieces that are expiring. Like the Knicks, they have a lot of expiring contracts. They may have more expiring contracts this season than the Knicks have. All right, Zach Randolph obviously is one of those expiring contracts. Again, $6,930,206 to make the salaries match.
Does that mean they're willing to take salary back? Like, or they only want expirers back?
I don't know. I'm not sure. So, you know, if you're going back to what Woj said, you know, I'll go back to it. I'm going to go back to what Woj said real quick. He said New York and Sacramento discussing an Enes Kanter, Zach Randolph trade of expiring contracts. The Kings would want to send out more expirings in the deal. They would want to send them out. They would have to send them out in order to make the salaries match. A third team would be helpful. And I guess probably the third team, maybe there's someone that's expiring that they want to keep. So they figure if they have a third team involved, because the Knicks are not going to take money back. Right? I think that the Kings like Enes Kanter. And they feel that Kanter would help them get into the playoffs in the West. Right? So for the Knicks, it does nothing. Right? For the Knicks, it's really just helping. I guess it helps the Knicks because you get Kanter. Well, I don't know if you want to say he's disgruntled, but he's not happy with losing, right? And he wants to play. He goes, you know, you get him out. You get him out the locker room. The Kings get a player that they think they can build upon or can be a piece to be, to push them into the playoffs. The Kings get more benefit than the Knicks, in my opinion, because Kanter's going to be gone anyway. Right? So it makes sense that the Kings throw in some kind of sweetener. What'd you say?
I'm saying the Knicks has somebody to spend money on, because they're saving what, $5 million.
Well,
the rest of the, or whatever the difference is for the rest of the season, but there's a $5 million difference in their salary.
Yeah, there's
that would be money goes.
Well, there's like a $7 million difference. You know, they'd have to get a little bit closer. I think the salary, I think it's got to be within like 25%. So they have to get a little bit closer. But I don't think the Knicks want to take back less money. They need to take back more money. Right? So, like, for example, let's say that Zach Randolph made $19 million and they did an even swap. Then the Knicks would get $19 million off their books in 2019. So the Knicks don't want to take anything less than what they don't want to take back expiring contracts, anything less than what Cantor's already getting, because then that's less money off their books.
Well, no, doesn't the money come off their books immediately? That's less time that you're waiting for the money to come in.
Yeah, but you take on, so like, let's say, so Cantor makes $18 million. Let's say Zach Randolph takes $17 million. When you take that $18 million and send it to, when you take that $18 million and you send it to Sacramento, you get that $17 million back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess in a way you still.
Yeah, that money just becomes available.
It still becomes your cap. It still becomes part of your cap. But in order for, I mean, it still helps you. It still helps you, right? But in order for it to really benefit the Knicks, I think, you know, to make it sweeter, you either want to take back money, because the Kings get all the benefits. So because they like Cantor, so I think the Kings need to add some kind of sweetener in there. So that could come in the form of, you know, adding salary that goes above the 18 million. Maybe it's 20 million, maybe it's 21 million, whatever, you know, whatever that 25% is. So now the Knicks have 21 million coming off their books. Or a second round draft pick.
Long-term salary.
Or the Kings take on or the Kings take on some kind of long-term salary, right? You know, so now the Kings have the lowest payroll in the league right now, right? The lowest payroll in the league. And let's put this in perspective just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. We'll put this into perspective. Right now, the Sacramento Kings, try to see what their record is right now. Where are they? If I could find it. Right now, the Sacramento Kings are 21-21 in the Western Conference. Okay, 21-21. They had the lowest payroll in the league. I mean, how beautiful is that?
Yeah. How
beautiful is that? And looking in the playoffs right now, the 8th seed are the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're 23-19. All right. Sacramento is just a couple of spots behind the Los Angeles Lakers. They feel they can make a push to get into that 8th seed and still have money to spend in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they got that, you know, $88 million. That's their payroll for this season. The expiring contracts that they have. Zach Randolph, of course, $11 million expiring this year. Iman Shumpert, $11 million expiring this year. Kufos, $8 million expiring this year. Ben McLemore, $5 million expiring this year. I can't even say homeboy's name. Georgios, 2.4 expiring this year. Deontay Davis, 1.5 expiring this year. Frank Mason, 1.3 expiring this year. These guys got some serious money expiring this year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they feel that they can get a third team involved, right? So that they don't have to give up as many expiring contracts without taking money back. So then the free agency, they got crazy dough to spend. Now the question is going to be, do people want to go to? Are people going to want to go to Sacramento?
Exactly. I think somehow either Tim Hardaway or Lance. I think one of our long-term contracts are going to be included in the deal, and I think it might be Tim Hardaway. I think we might fall in love with the Kings because they don't sign. Free agents aren't going to want to go there. They're going to have to get somebody in a trade that's already on a long-term deal, somebody they want. So I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I mean, right now the Kings. I mean, that right there. I mean, what we just read off, the amount of expiring contracts they have. I mean, this team is going to be ready to. That's some serious money right there that they got expiring. You know what I'm saying? That's some serious dough. It's like $40 million of expiring contracts, and they're already like what? Their salaries, their payroll for 2018-19 is $88 million. You know what I'm saying? That's their payroll for 2018-2019, and so they're like, $25-30 million that they have free right now, and then they're gonna add another almost $41 million to it.
Yeah, they take Hardaway. That still leaves them with enough money, with over 30 million.
I mean, that still leaves them with some dough to play in free agency. You know what I'm saying? Now, do they like Tim Hardaway? Obviously we got to know if they like Tim Hardaway. Now we know that they're trying to upgrade talent so that they can possibly make the playoffs. Is Tim Hardaway a guy that they like? That's always going. That's going to be a question, obviously. But right now, if you add up all of these expiring contracts, the Sacramento Kings and expiring contracts at $40 million in expiring contracts, $40,850,093 in expiring contracts. That's what they have in expiring contracts right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's nice. That's nice to have. Expiring contracts, $40,850,093 in expiring contracts. So they have contracts that they can throw in there to make the salaries match. But they're working on something. So we'll see. We're gonna see, man.
One last thing before I hang up.
All right.
If they're trying to get rid of salaries, they have to be wanting to take salary back. Otherwise, why not just let these people expire? You know what I mean? They want to win now. So
yeah. They want to get into the playoffs now.
It's like you said, giving up cancer is helping them. They got to throw a sweetener in there. I think the Knicks are trying to discuss Hardaway as well, and they may be trying to put in another expiring, just getting rid of somebody, not taking salaries with the third team. I think that's what's going on. But I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna keep listening in. Shout out to the chat. You're black as time.
All right.
I'm gonna holler at you in the future.
All right. Peace, man. Peace. Have a good one. So I want to know what you guys think about this, man. I want to know what you guys think. All right, let me get to one more call, and then I'm gonna come to the chat. I'm gonna jump around. I'm coming to Isaiah if he's awake. Right, then I'm gonna come to Ant. Then I'm gonna come to my man right. What's it called right here? All right, caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks? What's popping?
What's going on, son?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. What? Tell me your take. What you think about this cancer thing? Hopefully you got a chance to see the all the salary breakdowns and everything. You know what I mean? And the Sacramento Kings, they're well equipped with money. Right? I mean, the Kings could potentially go into next season with $60 $70 million. Go into free agency with like $60 to $70 million. You know what I'm saying?
I see that. I see how they could do that.
You know,
but if they do make a trade, I think they're gonna trade. Who is it? Randolph, and they're gonna probably give us back. They want to get rid of some contracts. What's the guy? The center for them. I don't think he plays. He don't even play for them. Costa Kufis.
Kufos.
And that'll make the salary match.
That'll make the salaries match. Right.
Yeah, I don't see them taking back Tim Hardaway Jr. or Courtney Lee. I just don't see it. When other teams out there trying to sell, and they can add salary, they can take on a bigger salary. Like, let's say if they want to trade for Otto Porter.
Then didn't Otto Porter just get traded? No. I'm sorry. No, that was Kelly Oubre. My bad. That was Kelly Oubre.
That's why I don't see them like trying to take Tim Hardaway, because I feel like they think there's better options out there.
Better options out there.
They can add the salary.
Right.
But if they want to, we'll take Cantor. Go ahead. He don't want to be here. That's fine.
Okay. Kufos makes $8.7 million. You combine that with Zach Randolph's contract, and you can make the trade easy now. You know,
and we take Kufos back just because I don't believe Randolph could play in the league no more. He's too old, too slow. He's a dinosaur. And Coach Kufos he'll help us with rebounding. We need a big out there. Because if Mitchell Robinson goes down again with a injury or Cornette, we just have another backup big.
Right. Okay. All right. Hey, man, I appreciate the call. Definitely appreciate the call, my man. All right. Peace. And before we get to the video chat, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you that we got the tickets. Let me pull this up here. We got the tickets already for the Martin Luther King Day matinee. We got the tickets. We got all the tickets. They're ready to go. You see right here. Put it up a little bit closer. You get a good look at them. Make sure it comes in clear. There you go. There you go. New York forever, baby. No doubt. January 21st. Knicks versus OKC. Put it on display like, Van and White and them people be doing. Right? Tickets, we got 5 available, folks. So if you want a ticket, you're trying to go, make sure you join us. All right, make sure you join us. 5 tickets available. I'm putting a link in the chat right now where you can get you a ticket. We get a private lounge on Chase Bridge. Food and non-alcoholic beverages are included. We're gonna have an NBK stream, a live stream, courtside during the pregame shoot around, and then at the end of the game, we're gonna go on the court, take a big group picture in the middle of the Madison Square Garden court. So make sure you get yourself a ticket. All right, get yourself a ticket and join us. Have a good time out there. Let's go ahead and get to this chat. I want to find out see what they think about this whole Enes Kanter thing. You know what I mean? Isaiah, what's popping with you, man? Dude? What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Hold on a second. Let me mute a few people. Hold on.
What'd you say? Oh, yeah, you got to mute some people?
I had to mute a few people.
Okay.
The whole Enes Kanter thing?
Yeah. What's your take?
When it comes to Sacramento, man, listen, he's not happy, and he's not happy, and clearly when Mitchell Robinson comes back, we know what's gonna happen. So we might as well try to get something in return for Kanter, and let's make him happy, man. Let him go to a contender or a fridge contender like the Kings, so he can play, do what he want, play, and then we could be left alone with all his crap, besides the whole, thing with his country. He's been, to me, he hasn't been a good representation of the Knicks this season. He's complained. He's been immature. Mm-hmm. He hasn't acted like a veteran. Like, instead of supporting your teammates that are taking over your job, you're complaining, you're going on Twitter, you're saying you want to win, you want to be an all-star. Be a professional first. You know, be a professional.
Okay.
That's what you're paid. That's what we're paid $18 million to be a professional. And he hasn't done it this season, which I was actually a little bit surprised about because, you know, my whole thing is when we got rid of Joakim Noah, I was like, okay, there shouldn't be no drama, there shouldn't be no egos this year. And then Enes Kanter just came out like, you know, listen, you don't play defense. You're the worst pick and roll defender in the league. And you complain about us losing when you're part of the problem. Like I said, you know, listen, mutual aside, you don't want to, you quote unquote say you want to be here, but you don't want to put the effort in to changing to be a better player to play defense. You know, just, you know, go to a contender. You know, let us clear cap space, and, you know, let's just both move on because clearly the relationship is not working for both ends.
Right. So I mean, and I think that's almost a given that either the Knicks are going to make a trade or there's going to be, you know, some kind of move made. Do you think that the Knicks will be able to get the Sacramento Kings to throw in sweeteners that are really going to be worthwhile?
You know, I would hope so, man, because, you know, listen, you know, the Kings are doing brilliant things this year with their team. They're really doing a lot of good stuff. But at the end of the day, they're still the Kings right now. And, you know, I think they're still going through that stage of being a bad franchise and still making questionable decisions. And I think Scott Perry, who knows the franchise inside and out, should know Vlade Divac and know that he could probably finesse him for like maybe a sweetener. Oh no, maybe and I know in the chat we were talking about getting rid of Tim Hardaway. Maybe he'll fall for that. Maybe Scott can convince him like, hey, Tim Hardaway fits you better than Enes Kanter. Because if he listen, I'll say like this: if he could get rid of Tim Hardaway, I'd rather just stick with Enes Kanter for the rest of the year and then have over 30-something. Over almost $40 million in cap space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the thing is, they want Kanter, right? So, I mean, like, they want Kanter because they think he is a piece. So he's going to be in the trade. The thing is, if we take back Zach Randolph, we're not getting anything back that benefits us. That's the reason why maybe pawning off some salary to them, you know, helps to give us a benefit. They get a benefit, and so on. Let me get around to everybody, man. Let me see, who am I coming to? Ant, coming to you, Ant. What's your take, man? Will we be able to pawn that off? Can we pawn it off? And you know what? All of this may be for naught because it may not even happen. But do you think that we can get the Sacramento Kings to take back some money?
We're going to have to. Either that or they give us a draft pick. Because otherwise, I don't see how it benefits us.
It doesn't. Right.
Yeah. I mean, Courtney Lee may be an easier sell because it's a little bit, or not really. I mean, it really depends on what Sacramento thinks they are.
Right.
Sacramento really think that they're good enough to really compete for a playoff spot. If they do, they may look at Tim Hardaway and Kanter, adding both of those guys possibly as something that's being worth it, because free agents aren't going to a place like that. So Sacramento's going to have to improve through trades and things of that nature. So they may look at somebody like Tim Hardaway and say, we still got 2 years of control on him. He's young enough to fit the youth on the team. And they may look at Kanter and Tim Hardaway as a couple pieces that can help them get into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's the sole purpose that they're looking at Kanter, is that they feel that Kanter could be a piece that can help, propel them into the playoffs. Like I said, they're 21-21 now. They're, the Lakers are 23-19. They're 2 games behind the Lakers for that 8th playoff spot. They probably feel like Kanter can help propel them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Kanter would definitely be in the deal. And if they're really trying to upgrade their talent, then maybe someone like Tim Hardaway can be in a deal that's going to help push them into the playoff, that they feel will help push them into the playoffs as well. I'm going to pull up their roster, because I want to take a look and see, from a guard perspective, is Tim Hardaway an upgrade over their current guards? Because if he's not an upgrade over their current guards, then it's not going to make any sense, unless they're just doing it solely to get Cantor. And I don't think they're going to take on $36 million over the next 2 years solely to get Enes Cantor. You know what I'm saying? You never know, but I don't think so. I'm gonna come to Guillermo and see what Guillermo's thinking. Guillermo, what do you think, man? And Ant, you're still live. And actually, before we do this, I'm gonna run this down. I just want you guys. We're gonna take a quick look at the Sacramento Kings roster and at the guards on their roster. And if you guys let me know, YouTube chat, video chat, you let me know. Do you think? I'm gonna run the. I'm gonna say their names out, and I want to know if you think Tim Hardaway is an upgrade over these players. All right, it's coming to you in just a matter of seconds, my friends. Just a matter of seconds. All right, let's see. Let me pull up their roster. If I can find their roster. All right. So here's the guards that they have right now. Excuse me. You got Bogdanovich. You got Yogi. Okay, you say yeah over Bogdanovich. Yogi Ferrell. He's a backup point guard. You got De'Aaron Fox, point guard.
You never get him, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, you got Buddy Hield.
Yeah, he's better. He's better.
Who's better?
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield is better.
Okay, he's You got Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield right now is shooting 57.8%, 44% from three, 48% field goal shooting. He has a 20.1 points a game, 2.3 assists a game, 4.9 rebounds, and a PR of 17.17. I'd take that any day over Tim Hardaway.
Okay. You got.
He's only getting 31.3 minutes. I'm sorry to cut you off. He's only getting 31.3 minutes.
31.3 minutes. All right. You got Frank Mason.
Yeah, he's better.
You're better than him.
Frank Mason.
You got Ben McLemore.
He's better.
Iman Shumpert.
Come on, Iman Shumpert is a zombie.
So you're looking at one shooting guard that he's not better than. Buddy Hield could kind of go. Buddy Hield could probably go. Probably be. Run a little bit of shooting guard and point guard. So maybe there is a fit.
Sam, they're not giving up Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield was a guy that's finally developing.
No, I'm not saying they're giving up Buddy Hield. I'm saying, is there a fit for Tim Hardaway on the team for them to take on his salary so that they can have an upgrade in so that they can have an upgrade in talent? Is there a fit? You know what I mean? And so maybe there is a fit for Tim Hardaway on the team. Looking at their guard situation.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a six man. I mean, because looking at that roster, I don't see too much perimeter shooting in the backcourt outside of Buddy Hield. And
do you think that we could split it up though? Do you think put it like this? Do you think that Tim Hardaway would be a better fit, or do you think Cantor would be a better fit? Because I think we should use them.
Well, Cantor. I mean, I think they want Cantor. They want Cantor. But what I'm looking at, just thinking, is there a way that they want Cantor, right, to help solidify rebounding, post play, whatever,
and take Tim too?
And then can we try to? Because if we just do a trade of expiring contracts, the only team that really benefits is Sacramento, right? The only team that really benefits is Sacramento. So Sacramento's going to have to throw in a sweetener so that the Knicks benefit as well. Now, is that possibly, trading one of our longer term contracts into their salary. They got tons of salary space this year, and then going into next season. And I'm looking, could Hardaway, could they look at Hardaway and say, you know what, he's going to help us upgrade our guard position to try to give us a push into the playoffs. We'll take Cantor and Hardaway. So I just wanted to look at their roster and see, is there a space? Is there a spot where he would be an upgrade for them? You know what I mean? I'm
thinking there could be a third team involved.
Yeah, and that's that that's what people think. It's probably going to be a third team involved, and
like the Mavericks or somebody like that.
Yeah,
take on some salary.
Yeah. Ugh. Now, and you know what's crazy though? This could all be for naught because the latest that I'm seeing about, this possible trade is that talks have kind of stalled. Right. That talks have stalled. Now,
because we really don't have any leverage. I mean, if you think about it, we have really absolutely no leverage.
Yeah, we don't. There's not much leverage. Not much leverage for the Knicks because Cantor. The Kings are already 21-21, almost into the playoffs. The only leverage that the Knicks have is that the Kings have interest. That's really the only leverage that they have. Is that the Kings
I think they have a little bit of leverage when you factor in that they don't have to trade Cantor.
Right.
They don't have. I mean, he comes off the books anyway at the end of the year, so they can hold out.
Right.
And just say if we don't.
That's true.
We'll just keep him.
Yeah. Now the latest, and this is from Clutch Points, is that excuse me. The Knicks, would like to have a small asset attached to a potential Cantor Randolph swap. And you know what? I think I brought up the wrong thing, but also that talks have kind of stalled a little bit. All right, talks have kind of stalled. And they haven't spoken for a little while, so we'll see where that picks up, and hopefully I can bring that article back up. I brought up the wrong article for you guys. Let's get.
What I think?
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's interesting to see how other teams view our players, because from our perspective, we all have a view of all of these guys. But I'm always interested in how other teams view Cantor, how other teams view Tim Hardaway.
Right.
Do they look at him like we do, or do they see him as real pieces? Well,
I think it depends on. I think they can look at they're going to look at how it fits into their team. If they have a team that already has a defensive identity and they feel like they can put pieces around Cantor while Cantor's in the game to make up for his defensive lapses, then they may feel confident. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me get over here. My man right here with the glasses on. I'm not sure if I got your name last time. What's your name?
Tolgar.
Oh, okay. Tolgar. What's going on with you? All right. So what's your take, man?
The chat gave me a nickname, White Chocolate. So I guess
okay.
You can all
right, so we got White Chocolate. You don't look like Jason Williams, but you know.
I got handles like him though.
Oh, you do? Okay, I had to see some video of that.
Here and there. No, but all right. One thing I just want to say real quick. I'm actually Turkish, so
okay.
Yeah, that's why I got the weird Viking name, whatever. But yeah, I'm actually Turkish, and I honestly have to say nobody in Turkey talks about Enes Kanter. Nobody. They don't even consider him like a human. So all the headlines he's making is only in the States, right? So okay. I can say that straight up. And when I first heard he was gonna be on the Knicks, I was actually excited because I've always wanted a Turkish player on the Knicks, even though I don't agree with his political views or whatever. But yeah, so I feel as if we're gonna trade Kanter, and if it's gonna help Sacramento's playoff hopes, I want at least 2 future second-round picks. At least if Justin Holiday can get 2 future second-round picks to the Bulls, I think for that trash team, I think Ennis can get us at least 2 future second round. If the salaries match up, if they give us Kustis or Kufos, yeah, him and Zebo and 2 future seconds, I say get the deal done. I don't think they're gonna want Hardaway, to be honest. Even if we try to give it to them, give him to him, because they're not gonna want to pay Hardaway $18 million to be the 6th man off the bench or the 7th or 8th man, because Bogdanovich is better than him. To be honest, he has way better upside. He's actually clutch. He shoots more efficiently than him. They're gonna have to max out Buddy Hield in the offseason. That's what I think. So I don't think they're gonna want to keep Bogdanovich on the team. So I don't think they're going to want to pay Hardaway the $18 million. I mean, if any player we can possibly give them, I think it would probably have to be like Courtney Lee or something. But he hasn't played at all this year for them to even, consider it. So if we're looking for like a small win just to get Cantor off the books so that we can, give some more time to our youngsters, and maybe call up that Zimmerman kid from the G League or whatever, I think, or give him a 2-way contract or bring up Isaiah Hicks or whatever, I think any deal that we trade Cantor in, we should get at least 1 or 2 second-round picks. I'm not saying a first-round pick. I know Sacramento doesn't have their first-round pick this year. Boston has it. So I think, if anything, 2 future second-round picks, whether that's next year or 2-3 years from now or whatever, at least we get some type of asset worth trading him. Basically, they're gonna be trading for his, post game and his youth, and the fact that he'll probably be since he's the same age as their core, he'll probably be as coachable as them, rather than Zebo, who's already a complete player as he is, for his style. That's what I think. I think if we're gonna trade him, try to get 2 second-round picks. And if there is a third team involved, I think we should try to get like maybe Seth Curry or something, just so we can have, like a 3-point shooter on the team or something like that, just so someone we can take a chance on, see how good he is. If he's not, we can always let him go in the off season. But in terms of their youngsters, I don't want Frank Mason or the Greek guy that they have, the center, or any of those guys. I don't view them as potential long piece players. They're I think our youngsters are on the same level as them. So I think if we're gonna trade Cantor, we should do it for the cap space, get the 2 second-round picks, and just call it a win.
Okay. All right. Let me get to Mark.
Stay there.
Mark.
Oh, I'm live?
Hey, Mark. Yeah, you live, man.
Yo,
what's your take on it, bro? What's your take on it? Cantor.
Cantor? All right. I was just talking about Vivek, right? With the Cantor going to Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
Sacramento's in an interesting place because, number one, in the free agent market, with all the money that you explained, I don't think there's going to be free agents going to want to go there, right? That's just my opinion. So this is where Tim Hardaway could possibly play a big chance in them getting him, because number one, Buddy Hield is on a great deal right now for this year and next year. So they're looking for another guard right now. When you watch Sacramento, they're looking for another guard. So when they go to the bench, they're looking for someone that could score when Buddy's out. And Tim Hardaway in that role, coming off the bench in that offense where they just get up and down, he will excel in that offense. So I believe they will. I believe there's a chance they would rather Tim. They would think about taking Tim other than Cantor, even though Tim had that 2 years left. Because even though with that 2 years left, Sacramento still has a whole boatload of money left, and he's a quality player for the role that he will play with Sacramento. So I'm thinking like,
but why would? And can you turn your TV down in the back?
Oh yeah.
But why would they take Hardaway instead of Cantor when Cantor doesn't hurt their books at all?
Because guess what? Either way, this is the thing. Tim is a quality player, right? So either way, they're going to be looking for a quality player in free agency to fit what they do. And Tim fit what they do perfectly for what they really want to do when they put Hill on the bench, because they don't have great scorers on the bench. They rely a lot on Buddy Hield and Darren Fox. So you take Tim Hardaway and the things that he could do playing off the bench will be more valuable than Cantor. They only have him for 1 year, because next year they're going to be looking for players to fill that spot. But taking on Tim.
But what would stop them from taking both? If they value Tim and they value Cantor, what would stop them from taking on both? Taking both, because you're not going to take on any extra salary with Cantor.
No.
Right?
No.
And you can afford to absorb Tim Hardaway's contract. You can afford to absorb it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What would, and so if you like both of them, why would you not take both of them?
They can take both. They can take both of them, because guess what? If we was to trade Cantor for Zach Randolph, they would give us back Kosta Koufos and Zach in that deal, which add up to 18. And then if we had gave them Tim Hardaway, I think they would give us Ben McLemore in that deal. But I think they're going to be looking for a 3-trade deal, because I seen something like that with Tim.
Yeah, they'd be looking
I seen something like that. Deal. So they're looking for something like that. I think they would take both. If they could take both, Simeon, I swear to God, if they could take both, that would be the greatest day in Knicks history.
It'd be a big one. I can tell you that. It'd be a huge one.
Yo, listen, even if they could take Tim first before they take Cantor, even if they could take Tim before they take Cantor, I'm really banking on them take Tim before Cantor, because Tim will be great in that offense. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. He's just not great for us because he's not a number one guy in New York. And he cannot play that role. He cannot play that role.
It's different. Now, there's other rumors out there. There's all kinds of stuff, rumors out there. I kind of thought that this was going to be. I kind of thought that this was going to be a quiet deadline, and it may turn out to be not be a quiet deadline.
Because Sim, like me and Viv was talking about, you have 4 teams in the West right now, right? That's missing shooters and missing quality players. Now you have New Orleans fighting for a spot. You have Dallas fighting for a spot, because Mavericks just lost JJ Barea and they have no guard play. So I think Tim could be another piece for them, because they will take on Tim, because it's just going to be hard to get swingmans to get in free agency to get there.
Now check this out. From what I've read, the Dallas Mavericks are shopping Dennis Smith Jr. That's what I've read. The Dallas Mavericks are shopping Dennis Smith Jr. Now, I've seen some people put some things out there, say the Knicks should trade Tim Hardaway Jr., Frank Ntilikina, and bring back Dennis Smith Jr. and whomever else. What is your thoughts?
I think
what are your thoughts on that? I want to get around and ask the chat too. What are your thoughts on that?
Let me be honest. Let me be honest.
Yeah, be honest. Be honest. Because
a lot is about to go down, because there's something else in the news with the Kyrie thing. The Kyrie thing is going to be a big, it's a big what if. And my thing is, I want to be bald-headed coming into this free agency, so I could have the chance to sniff 2 max players, 2 of them, because that 10 deal is taking up 16% of our salary cap. 16%. And plus he has a trade kicker, which is another 15%, and a no trade clause. That is a bad deal. And if we're looking to even sniff Kevin Durant, we have to have another superior point guard player with him. That's the only way he's coming. He's not coming with no subpar talent. So my thing is, listen, if we got to do what we got to do, we got to do what we got to do. That's just me. I love Frank. But if I can it's to a point, We should have done that deal last year for Kyrie if Cleveland wanted Frank in a first-round pick. I'd have done that. We should have done that. Because if we'd have had Kyrie here, that's boom. That's a foundation. And then we got KP coming back. And then you could think about Kevin Durant coming. And then when you think about it, Sim, if we have Kyrie on our team, that makes Boston's weak. That makes Boston weak. Right. So we will be in playoff contention. That's where we want to go. That's where we want to go.
Okay. Well.
And Kyrie's only, what, 26? 26?
Mm-hmm. Well.
And you pair him up with Kevin Durant and Porzingis? Come on. In the East? There's no one that can stop. Listen, when it comes all down to it, when Kevin Durant and Kyrie is 100, there's nothing no one could do in the East to stop them offensively. I've seen too many games where Kyrie just plays around with teams and say, you know, it's my turn. Let me just take over games. That's what we need. That's what we need. We don't have time for subpar talent. The only person I'm willing to keep is Kevin Knox. That's the only one. And Mitchell. That is it. Everybody else can get the hell up out of here. Because if I have a chance to sniff Kevin Durant or Kyrie in 2019, come on, son. There's nothing to talk about. And then we could come on the chat and be one of the great teams. We could come on here, be happy. We would never talk down on the Knicks. We would have happy nights instead of these nights where we just figuring out what is this player going to be. And we will be in the playoffs. Just think about that. We have a chance to make the finals. Finals.
Well, all right. Well, we like projecting way ahead. We're projecting way ahead. Let's go back and finish getting to this. Because I want to know what other people think about the Dallas Mavericks, possibly shopping Dennis Smith Jr. and if the Knicks, would they trade Frank and Timmy to bring back Dennis Smith Jr. and somebody else, Wesley, whoever else. Nate, what do you think? I'm gonna come to you. Viv. Nate, what do you think?
Hell to the no, man. I want nothing to do with Dennis Smith Jr. He is a me first point guard. He doesn't shoot a good percentage. We all have bad point guards already that can't shoot. I just don't think he would be able to run this offense. It would be complete ISO, and he just doesn't seem like a team player. I think there's a reason why the Knicks passed on him the first time. I actually would not trade Ntilikina. Even if it meant giving away Hardaway, I would not trade Ntilikina for Dennis Smith Jr. That's just my opinion. I don't like the guy.
Okay.
I really don't. And I'm worried about his durability.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's out right now with a back issue, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or his knee problems or something like that. So, I mean, I'd rather take my shot with Frank and try to trade Hardaway another way.
Okay. Viv, you're still live, Nate.
Yeah, Nate kind of expressed my thoughts. I'd stay away from Dennis Smith Jr. He's missed more games this season than Frank's missed his first 2 seasons, even though Frank has missed the last 3 games. Dennis Smith Jr. has already missed like 15-plus games this year with a various assortment of injuries. He's somewhere between Derrick Rose and Steve Francis 2.0 in a sense that he's gonna be an injury-prone type of player. I would stay away. I think you can get Tim. You probably trade Tim away, but I don't know if I would do that for if you had to trade Frank. In that deal. Exactly. I don't think that is going to help the team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people are going to stay away from it. Let me see. I'm going to come around to one more person. I ain't get to my man here with the hood up. What's your name again?
James.
James. That's right. I thought it was James. What's up, man? What's up, James? So what's your thoughts, man? Would you trade Frank Ntilikina?
It's all about talent, right? Talent.
Would I trade for Dennis Smith Jr.?
Yeah. Frank Ntilikina and Tim Hardaway Jr. for Dennis Smith Jr. Would you do it?
Well, that's a good one. And Dennis Smith Jr. is not making any money. I'm not a fan of Dennis Smith Jr., the basketball player. This would be a financial move for me. I really don't like him as a basketball player. I don't like him as a point guard. I forgot somebody else was saying, like, he's a me-first point guard. He doesn't pass the ball, injury-prone. You can look at his body language and tell, like, he he really just cares about himself. So if I was to do that, it would just be more so to just get Tim money off the books. But I'm kind of hesitant on that because it's like I want to wait to the draft to see if we could get if we get a top 2 pick, we won't have to do anything. Those are transformational players that puts everything into perspective. So I'm more so trying to wait until May come and see exactly where we're going to pick, and hopefully it won't be too much, but then try to make moves. I think that we could get Tim off the books because after next year, he'll only have 1 year. And I think people want Tim. It's not like people don't want Tim. And if you needed to get Tim off the books to sign 2 max players in the summertime, I think that's possible. You still got Frank. You have other pieces you could attach to Tim. Let's say you had to trade him. You got Mitchell Robinson, Alonzo Trier, Frank Ntilikina. There's so many people. You can get Tim out of here if you really needed to. So I'm also trying to have a little bit more patience, something that we obviously we don't have. So I'm trying to have patience with that.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happened. I wanted to ask the question because I know, or I don't know, but I've read that the Dallas Mavericks are shopping Dennis Smith Jr. Shopping Dennis Smith Jr., the guy that everybody, harped on the Knicks about not drafting. You know what I mean? But anyway, another question, or another thing I want to bring up. Tension between the Knicks and Kristaps Porzingis. Some people will probably say, this don't mean nothing. There is no tension. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of times where there's smoke, there's some kind of fire, some flame somewhere. Howard Beck, on his podcast, says rumors and rumblings from the G League showcase are that the Knicks are holding out Porzingis for the entire season. And this is among sources of tension between the team and the star. Uh-oh. Could this be a problem? Listen, we talked about this a very long time ago, that this could be a problem. It could cause some tension between the Knicks and KP. Right? If KP feels like he can come back and he wants to come back, but the Knicks are like, no, we want to hold you out. This could be a problem because, it's going to have contract implications. Obviously, it's going to have implications when it comes to restricted free agency. If KP goes into free agency this summer, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. What's your take on that? Is this an issue or is this just overblown? Or is it an issue? Is this going to be a problem between Porzingis and the Knicks? And will it have an effect on free agency? You know what I'm saying? Carry420 said that's a smart move for the Knicks to do that. It could be a smart move because it keeps his value down, right? When he goes into restricted free agency. Most teams are probably going to be like, hey, we know what you can do. But there are going to be teams, or I'm not going to say most teams, some teams, but there's going to be teams that are afraid that he doesn't come back and he's not as strong as he was when he left because of the ACL, and be reluctant to give him that contract. Right? So it obviously works in the Knicks' favor contractually or business-wise. If he does not come back this year, it works in the Knicks' favor. If KP is 100% healthy, 125% healthy, then it works in the favor for KP to come back, build that strength in his knee so that when he comes back in 2020, 2019, when the next season begins, he's strong, right? He's strong. Believe it or not, just those couple of months of playing NBA ball it'll help strengthen that. It's going to help strengthen that knee. It's going to help him get back in shape. Even just those couple of months, get used to the NBA bump and grind. Before you just start the season, and you start the season next year not having that NBA bump and grind feel. I'd like to see him play a few games, man, just so he can start to get in shape. But the Knicks may not want him to. That works in their favor contractually. Doesn't really work in KP's favor contractually if he's 100% healthy. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks, man. What's your take on it?
Hey, what's up, Sam?
I'm chilling.
We had the discussion during the summer.
Yeah.
About KP when Fizdale went over there to talk to him.
Yeah.
I think that he should play.
Yeah.
He's got to play, because if he doesn't play, he's going to be all waiting and figure out what he can do, what he can't do.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
He's got to play. I don't know what the Knicks are doing. This is kind of scaring me, because he might get the attitude, okay, y'all won't let me play, I'm out of here. And I'm wondering what he's thinking about right now when he constantly see this team getting whipped by 20, 25, 30 points, and he do come back, and it's going to be a situation like it was before. It's going to be all on him, So, but he's got to play. He's got to go out there and show some free agents, if they want to come here, that he can still play this game. So I'm hoping that that's not the case, that they will let this man play. But you don't want him to be upset and he be out of here.
Yeah, right. Because it'd just be one more thing for him to say, I can't trust this front office. Just
exactly.
One more thing, man.
But like I said, he should play, because he's got to see what he can do out there. It's just like back in the day, when Bernard King came back out. He played the last 10 games or 12 games of the season.
Right.
But he realized he could still play. He went to Washington, though. But still, you got to take that chance to let this man play ball.
Yeah,
you can't go that long, a whole year, without playing basketball.
A whole year and more, right, without playing ball. And then you expect him to come back. You know what I'm saying? You expect him to come back next year and start to perform. It's not going to happen that way. I think he needs to get out there. The last 2 months of the season, he get 15, 20 games in, where he can, feel that NBA speed. I mean, it'll do a whole lot for him, coming back in 2019.
Yeah, for his mentality, yes.
Yeah, for his mentality, his confidence, knowing that he can come back and play. You don't want him starting the season off and he's not sure yet.
Yes, with a lot of question marks. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So, that's what my thing is on, that he should be able to play the game. I hope this Knicks, I'm trying to trust these people.
Uh-huh.
I don't want them to be like it was before with who they had in here. So I'm hoping that Scott will do right by this man.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm hoping too, man. We'll see how it goes, because listen, the last show we talked about the possibility of San Antonio swooping in, and people
don't
like,
let Pops get this guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't let Pops get him.
Yeah,
no,
man.
The Knicks, they got to talk to Porzingis this offseason and say, look, we want to sign you to that long term, but we got to get people in here before we sign you. They got to, he's got to know that. This has nothing to do with him. They ain't signed him yet. They're just trying to get people in here so they can sign him after. He's got to look and see what the Knicks going to do. What are they going to do to make this a better team?
Yeah.
So I want to be here. That's what I'm hoping that they do.
Yeah, man.
But I was happy to talk to you again, Sam.
Hey, I appreciate the call,
315,
bro.
Baby. 315.
There we go. 315 in the house, baby. No doubt. I appreciate you, man.
A shout out to the chat.
Yes, sir.
And I'll talk to you later, Sam.
All right. Have a good one. Have a good weekend.
You too, man.
All right, peace.
You have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's see what the chat thinks about this, man. See what the chat thinks about this. Let me see. Who we got? Nate, I'm gonna come to you in a minute. Nate.
Yeah, man. This is a really tough decision, because Knicks management is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because if KP wants to play, they're going to let him play. But the truth is, now that San Antonio has come out and said that, hey, we're willing to try to match whatever the Knicks are willing to offer, it's a scary thought because the Spurs are able – they are one of the smartest teams out there in caps.
Or the Spurs are willing to not match. The Spurs are willing to make an offer that the Knicks would have to match.
Make an offer. Make an offer for KP. And they're very smart with their cap, so they could do it. I mean, that's how they got LaMarcus Aldridge. Nobody thought they had a shot in hell of getting LaMarcus Aldridge, and they got him. So it's a scary thought. So in essence, it kind of puts pressure on the Knicks to figure out, okay, so what are we going to do with KP? The thing is, what I think they're going to do is if for whatever reasons he does not play this season, I would expect his contract to be similar to what they gave Joel Embiid in the Sixers, which are all incentive based. You know, he makes this many games, he plays the All-Star, whatever it is, he gets all these incentives in his contract because they're going to want to make sure that, you know, he's ready to go. I mean, we're talking a 23-year-old that tore his ACL. It's a scary thought.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I would love to be a fly on the wall in this discussion with KP and the Knicks brass, you know, but New York's got to be careful because, you know, this is a new regime, and if they somehow lose KP, I'm telling you right now, man, and I hate to say this, I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. It'll be very hard for me to stay a Knicks fan if KP goes. Because once again, you're going to let a guy in his prime walk away because of the stupid management's problems. And it's hard because then you have no selling point. You have no selling point to free agencies. You show no loyalty to this team and your best player. So I going back to what I said, I just don't think the Knicks are. If he wants to play, he's going to play. It's going to be hard to just how many games is he going to be out there? You know, because last thing you want to do is him have a setback, you know, and then you go into 2020, you know, and now, you know, free agency could be shot to hell, you know, and now you got KP who had a setback, and then you're going 2020 with more questions than answers.
Okay, so, but why do you think he would have a setback? I mean, I feel like if he's going to have a setback, he's going to have it. If he's 100% healthy. Right? If he's 100% healthy, does it matter if you play now or later, or if you're going to have it? You got to start to strengthen that knee. Playing is part of strengthening that knee. I mean, he's already started to strengthen it. He's already strengthening the knee, but playing is another part of strengthening it. You know, you don't put him out there for 30 minutes. You know, he starts out, he gets 5 minutes. Or 10 minutes, a couple of games, and you see how it feels. You see if it's sore. Right. You come back out there, and as it's getting stronger and it feels better, now you're getting 15 minutes. Then you're getting 20 minutes. I guess my only argument would be is, let's just say if he did have a setback before free agency, it's going to shut down a lot of doors of maybe trying to get players to play with him. Because, okay, once again, he has a setback, and now here we have a bigger issue, and this could be more of a lingering thing. Is the only thing I could think of. I agree with it. I think he should play. But if he doesn't play, doesn't it have doesn't it give free agents the same trepidation to say we don't know what he's going to be when he comes back?
It possibly could. I mean, I think like a guy like Kevin Durant. I mean, if they really try to lure him to New York. I mean, I think he's seen enough of KP to know what he is. I mean, players have had ACL injuries before and have come back. I mean, look at Zach LaVine. I mean, he had his ACL and he came back and he's played pretty well this season. So, I mean, it's not like it's the end-all, be-all thing.
I mean, they have. I mean, no doubt they have.
But bigger guys are a little harder because they put more weight on themselves.
Right. They have. And, there's been some who haven't. Come back. It's definitely a tough situation. I just think that they should, let him play. Him playing is not going to hurt the tank standings, if that's what you're worried about, because he's not going to play that many minutes. He's going to take it light to kind of work himself in. And
not to mention the fan base wants to see him. The fan base, I mean, even for a couple of games, they want to see their best player out there,
right?
Because it gives them hope for 2020 and how they can build this team.
Yeah. All right, let me see. What do you think, man?
I feel like it's it's a lot to unpack here. Like, one, the Knicks need to communicate to KP effectively why they're holding him out, because that matters, I feel. Like, if it's really a medical issue and the doctors are saying not yet, then I don't think KP really has a reason to be upset. But if KP senses that they're holding him out to benefit them, to try to lowball him or, you know, something to that effect, then I can understand where the tension would come from. So I think that first reason is important.
Right.
From the jump, I always felt like it was more of beneficial to our team for KP to play the last 15 games, play like 15 minutes a night, something to that effect. I always felt like for free agents in the summer, for KP, I thought that was the best case scenario. But it's like the problem with these vague reports, like that word tension, like this, like that spectrum can be so, it varies a lot. Like, what does that mean? Like, does it mean that KP was like a little upset he couldn't play, or is there real tension? You know? Right. So like, and with the Knicks, I always look at the guys reporting it.
Mm-hmm. I think Howard Beck is pretty reputable. I think Howard Beck is I don't know. Yeah, I think Howard Beck is a pretty reputable guy. Viv, what do you think, man?
Oh, the whole KP drama? So this is the whole thing, right?
All right.
Look, there's the Howard Beck and those guys. So just to give people background on Beck and some of the other people did Daily News. A lot of those people have agendas against the Knicks and, you know, James Dolan in particular for various sets of reasons. One of the main reasons was, you know, due to some of like the strict media policy they had in the 2000s. You just kind of made things really bad.
Right.
And other reasons whatsoever. So, you know, the Daily News has always had they've had their own agenda against the Knicks, though, for a long while. They've always tried to stir up different drama and to feed into it. You know, I think they have Frank Isola, who used to be at the Daily News, had a relationship with, Kristaps Porzingis and I think his brother over the years. Now, this whole tension stuff, again, I think the reason behind all this stuff is that the Daily News, in all honesty, they don't even cover the team on the road anymore. They use what they call a wire service, whereas they just take like whatever reports from the Associated News to recap the games. They don't even send their beat guy out to road games anymore. So, you know, they use these stories of drama just to get people to read their articles, especially now that's on like a paywall. So, less people are even subscribing to the New York Daily News. So I would take a lot of this as just talk and chatter. Now, that's not saying that their relationship with the Knicks is perfect, but I think it's a lot more overblown, and I wouldn't make much of it because we can match every offer, and we know for one thing that despite what we may think of the Porzingis brothers, one thing I don't think they are is stupid. So they know they will not leave at least $120 million, $130 million on the table. So I'm not worried. Porzingis will be a Knick for at least the next 3 or 4, 5 years, hopefully, at the minimum.
Okay.
And unless the Knicks find something that's going to be really, maybe is there like a big setback that happens between now and June, I'm not worried about what they think.
Okay. All right. We'll see. I don't know if it's, obviously, I don't have those kind of inside sources, but I don't know. I think that, just looking at a few things that's happened over the year, over the season so far, David Fisdale saying that KP wasn't working, and then KP put out or wasn't working on and doing whatever, wasn't running yet, and then KP put out a video of him sprinting. I feel like there's a little something there somewhere, somehow. I feel like there's something there. Maybe it may not be big, but maybe a little something. Guillermo, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think this is all machinations from the brother, man. and it's annoying because look, hey, KP, you know what I'd actually do? I'd actually play him. I'd play him. You want to bet on yourself since you don't want to take the slow route and take the safe route? I'll play him, and like you said, I'll play him in these little doses. Now, if you get hurt, that's your career, because no one wants a guy who's double damaged goods off the knees and is that much of a unicorn in terms of size and stature. So if you want to come out and play, you come out and play. Because honestly, God, like I said, man, I like KP. I like his talent, but that whole not coming to the exit interview thing rubbed me the wrong way. Like, you're not bigger. You're not bigger than a team, bro. Like, don't let this New York stuff inflate you. And look, I think he's talented. Okay, let some other team overpay for you. I think some other team can offer him restricted free agent money, whatever. Let some other team try to offer you some big money. And you go over to some team, some moribund team, some team like the Hawks or whatever, if they give you that big money. Let's see how much of a star you become. Since you want to do that, because I'm tired of it, brother. I'm tired of this crap. I think the only thing the Knicks are doing, doing right this year, I think it's them how they're treating KP. Like, people don't understand. ACL injuries are not easy. They're not. It's not just about you coming in and just playing a game. Okay, it's game time. Like, you think that you running or whatever is the same as you being game time in the game, then you have to worry about, okay, when I come down, I got to make sure I'm not coming out on someone's feet. If I dunk, I better make sure no one's around me. I don't want the same thing to happen to me again. So if he wants to do this, if his brother's doing this behind the scenes, KP needs to be a man and say, hey, look, enough of the rumor stuff, blah, blah, blah. Let's stop. Let's chill out. Let's see how things go. But I will say this one thing about KP. I think KP and the brother are possibly doing this because they don't have faith in the coach. I think they're seeing it like, oh, crap. Fizdale's not any better than Hornacek. We might want to get out in New York, period. So that's another way to look at it. And I wouldn't necessarily blame him if he doesn't have faith in Fizdale and he thinks that this team is just basically hoping that free agents come and save the day. So,
okay. All right, well, folks, we've been on for almost 3 hours. We're about to get up out of here. I gotta get up and go to Coppin State tomorrow. Well, I got practice at 9 o'clock. Then we driving to Coppin State to watch the Eagles play again. So Coppin State Eagles. Coppin State Eagles.
Oh, I was like, the Eagles play tomorrow.
I think it's yeah. So we're gonna finish this off, man. We're gonna finish this off. The Knicks play Philadelphia Sunday, and I just want to get your predictions and last words. Right? You can give me a prediction of the game, and then wrap it up. Just want to do a quick ad in there. Monday at 8:30. I'm going to do a mid-season grades. We're gonna do mid-season grades Monday, 8:30 p.m. Mid-season grades. We're gonna break down the players. We're gonna break down moves that the front office has done so far. We're gonna break down the coaching, and we're gonna give the Knicks a grade for the season. We're gonna give different areas grades, and then give them an overall grade. All right. That's Monday at 8:30. You'll see a flyer or advertisement or whatever come out about it.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is.
Yeah. So, Guillermo, why don't you give us your take? Quick take, 30 seconds. Give us a quick take and your last words.
Yeah, man. This season is essentially done. Just looking forward to watching these young college kids play. Yeah, KP needs to shut up. And we're kind of screwed. So let's go 2020. Oh.
All right.
Good luck. Hey, good luck to hopefully your daughter gets some more good news from Copenhagen or whatever. I hope it goes well tomorrow.
Yeah. We're supposed to our whole team is going up there. We're gonna watch the game, and then hopefully they get a chance to speak to us a little bit after the game. So it should be cool.
All right, man. Yeah. So have fun, man. Congrats again to your daughter making headway with that with the team, man.
Appreciate it. Peace.
See you.
Peace. All right, let me see. Viv, coming to you, man.
Yeah. It's just that time of the year, Sim. It's just that time of the year.
Yep. It is.
Look, we don't have much to talk about, so you're gonna see a lot of this whole chatter and whatever, come around, rumblings. What else these guys covering? What else does the Daily News have to talk about? What else do the Howard Becks? Yeah. All they care about speculation at the end of the day. So we're not playing well. We don't have anything to talk about from a basketball standpoint. So at least just have a conversation keeps the news cycle going at least for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And gets the rest of us mad. So, we have to ignore it, if we care about the team. So,
all right. It's probably time for us to start really breaking down some of these draft picks too. Yeah, I wanted to wait until March, but geez, they not giving us anything to talk about.
Yeah, but it's almost like the draft stock changes between now and March.
I know it changes drastically.
March Madness, then what happens?
Yeah, I know. I mean, but we can't keep coming on just. They suck. We can't do that every single show.
Let's go straight up film. We just straight up, just going from the film room and just all right,
do some film room stuff. But Fizz ain't gonna see it and he's not gonna implement it.
Oh, he won't implement it. Actually, I don't know. He does some things, right? So you see some Spain pick and rolls. The problem is that the guys don't know how to screen properly. So every time we try to do the Spain pick and roll, it's not that effective because we don't have enough space to to work with.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
All right, man. What do we do against Philadelphia on?
Listen,
Sunday?
it's a game of minutes, right? So if you cut the number of bad minutes that you have, right, and you just say, okay, instead of 8 bad minutes, you have 5 bad minutes. Maybe it makes a difference because Philadelphia just lost to Atlanta today. So, something weird could happen. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, Viv.
All
right, man. Hey, have you been able to make a decision whether or not you can come to the game?
Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be around in the area on Monday. So it's gonna be. I don't think I'll be able to make it.
All right, cool. Well, watch the game. Make sure you watch the game anyway, and jump in on the chat if you can.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely jump in the chat.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, take care.
And
yo,
just your take on Philadelphia. About 30 seconds, man. Your take on Philadelphia. Last words, and make sure you email me your T-shirt size.
I did. I did a little bit earlier. As soon as I got on, I did it.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, small. But nah.
What's that? What was that? Fit on your elbow or something? Come on, man. I can look at you, see you're not as small.
I've been working out. But nah, man. I think it's gonna be a little more of the same of what we've been seeing. I expect them to compete. But I think we'll fall short, lose by 12, 10, the same old stuff. But I just want to see Knox, continue to impress. Hopefully, Frank will be back, so we'll see.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
But man, my last words are, man, KP wants to be here. We want him here. We can offer him the most money. He loves New York. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to San Antonio. He's definitely not going to Brooklyn. I think Knicks fans can, breathe a little bit. Just let it play out. A lot of this stuff is all negotiation tactics. When you look at the stuff that come out, you got to try to think to yourself, who does it benefit?
That's true.
When it comes out, some stuff the team leaks, some stuff the player camp leaks. But I think it's all about money, man. And, I don't think it's really personal between these guys. So I think it'll all work out. And, I think we'll be good, man. I can't wait to see KP come back.
All right, man. See you Sunday.
All right, man. Definitely.
All right, peace. Isaiah,
what's up, Sim?
Yeah, give us your quick 30 seconds.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was asleep for like the last 45 minutes.
I know you were asleep, man. I know you were asleep. Man, I was knocked out.
Hey, man. But no,
I don't know how you woke up. How'd you wake up right on cue?
That's the power of the chat. That's the power of the Knicks.
All right.
I just want to say shout out to Nate Dogg. I ain't seen Nate Dogg in like 6 months.
In a minute. Yeah, I don't know where Nate been.
I ain't seen Tony Crow in like 8 months.
Right. The crew getting back together, man. We're getting back together.
Yeah, man. The Wrecking Crew was getting back. I don't know about the Wrecking Crew. Shout out to Juice.
Yeah.
But now, I would kind of agree with Ant when it comes to like the speculation with KP. I think it's really slow right now for the news, and like you say, we suck, so it's not really much. You can't really talk about the Knicks really basketball wise. So I think they're just creating stories. You know, I think it's about the camp and everything. But I think at the end of the day, KP's going to be here. We want KP. KP wants us. I think he wants to be in New York. So, you know, I'm not really worried about that. I'm just really worried about the systems and the development of the players and hoping that we have a system for Frank, Mitch, Joe, and all the other guys, because I feel like they need a system so that we can be really good by the end of the year and that KP doesn't come back to like a whole bunch of a whole mess.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping for better days for the Knicks. I want to see us, you know, I want to see us win a couple more games. I want to see us, you know, at least compete hard, play defense, and, you know, make us proud, man. Make us like want to talk about them, you know. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, when Sunday comes, we're gonna probably lose. It's the Sixers, so you know we might lose. But you know, we can play hard and play smart. You know, you never know. But that's all I got, man. I'm about to go to sleep.
All right, man. All right, peace.
I'll talk to you, man.
Peace. All right, Nate. It's all you, Nate.
Well, man, we're going to get our butts handed to us again. Surprise, surprise. Embiid probably will score about 50 points on us. See how much faith I have in my Knicks right now?
Yeah, I know, man. No, I don't think anybody. We're just being real. We're just being real.
Oh, yeah. No. We are being real. But, hey, the young players are playing well, so continue to do that. Hey, I got to give what the hell moment to Cantor. I mean, I saw the video of all the food. I mean, if you're dumb enough to eat all that food, you should have played.
Yeah,
I don't care how sick you were.
Yeah, he be
I
tripping.
mean, ridiculous.
Yeah, he be tripping.
I mean, I think he's starting to become his Joakim Noah of the team. I mean, you know, he didn't pull his pants down outside of a car. But, I mean, eating a bunch of food and knowing you have a game the next day, you know, it's just ridiculous. I think he's just playing his way out of New York. I think he's already seen the light. And just he had the writing on the wall that he's just done. So, anyways.
All right, Nate. I'm gonna catch you,
See
man.
you Sunday.
Sunday. I think the game is at 1:00 on Sunday, right? So you know it'll probably be 3:30 or something like that.
All right. Well, good luck in the game.
Man. All right. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Yep.
Peace.
Lettuce. Peace.
Did he just say lettuce? Oh. I mean, if he said lettuce, did he say lettuce like lettuce, the vegetable lettuce? I don't know. That's a new one if he did. Anyway, James, it's on you, man.
So me, yo, I remember calling in. I think it was probably like in the beginning of the season, maybe like October preseason, and I was talking about the draft. And you know, I know you got stuff to talk about. You got a show to run, but you know, I was telling you that the Knicks suck. It's not. You was reaching for stuff, man. We was talking about raw bacon here. This is crazy. But you know, we just gotta have patience, man. The draft is almost here. I'm trying to tell you, so.
Okay.
Some players, man. I can't wait so we can break them down. I know it's early, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of early. I guess right now for the next month we're gonna be dealing with this trade deadline stuff. You know, reviewing trades, looking at trades, and then after that we'll probably jump right into start breaking down players.
For sure. And good luck to you and your daughter, man.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Hopefully I see you Sunday.
All right. Good night.
All right. Peace. Mark, it's on you, my man.
Listen, Philly just lost tonight to Atlanta, so I think they're gonna come in and try to get a dub because I think they're on the third losing streak. So they gonna feast on us. You know, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Everybody feast on us, but yeah,
you already know. And we don't have centers to defend the paint, man. So it's just like, what could we do, man? What could we do until trading deadline? You know what I mean? But
Well, I mean, you talk about Luke Cornett is going to be guarding Joel Embiid. Woo.
Bro, lunch, yo. As much as I like Cornett, lunch, bro. Embiid right now, he's playing like baby Shaq right now.
You know?
He don't want to shoot no more. He want to stay in the paint right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But there's a little something going on with Jimmy Butler.
I'm getting sick of him
something
right
going
now.
on with Jimmy Butler, man.
He's pissing me off. Like listen, thank God we didn't trade for him because he's really pissing me off. Because it's like, where do you want to go, guy? You know what? Stay away from me now. Come on, man.
Yeah, because now he don't like he don't like his role in Philadelphia now and this and that. Yeah, he's a cancer, man. He's a cancer.
Jimmy Butler got to understand something. You're not Kevin Durant. You're not a number one guy. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Man.
And if Derrick Rose was healthy, he would never be number one. He lucky Derrick Rose got hurt. That's the only reason why he became a number one, because of Derrick Rose.
Yeah. So.
But you got to stop. It's annoying.
Yep. All right, Mark.
All right, yo, good night, man. Yo, good night, my man.
Yeah, Mark, Sunday. And you said you definitely going to be at the OKC game, right?
Yeah, I will be there. And I hope everyone is there tomorrow, because I want to see a lot of people.
All right, man. Next Monday, the 21st.
Next Monday. I was thinking it was this Monday.
Yeah, next Monday, the 21st. It's gonna be dope.
You know when you're not in school, you don't keep up with holidays and dates sometimes. You gotta, retract yourself.
Yeah, I know. All right, man. I'll catch you on. I'll catch you on one Sunday.
All right, shout out to the chat and everything.
All right, peace.
All
right, Togar.
Yep.
Yes, sir. It's on you. You the last one, man. You got the final word.
Yeah, man. Philly, hey, man, barbecue chicken. That's all I'm saying. And B, he's going to eat up Cornette. And
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a massacre. They're going to trash us. They're going to trash us really bad. And, if the last game is any indication, I already know it's going to be bad, so I'm going to just skip the game completely. So I'm going to save myself the trouble, maybe. But yeah, with the whole Jimmy Butler thing, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe his camp is just fabricating all this stuff so he can go play with LeBron. I mean,
you never know. I mean, I don't know
what might happen. I mean, hey, isn't everything about making money and establishing your brand?
It is. Yeah.
So maybe, he might go to LeBron, because it doesn't look like Kawhi or KD or Klay's going to go play with him. So maybe Jimmy might go play with LeBron, and, they might have a two-headed dog over there. So
we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe he's just trying to make Philly not offer him the money, or, trade him away or something like that. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure talking to you as always.
No doubt. I'm glad you joined the chat.
Yeah, of course. I've been meaning to join the chat for a long time, but indications of my previous times when I had my rants, I wasn't, I was too angry to just hop in. So I was, I just had to calm down for a second, just gather my thoughts real quick. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try to hop on next time.
All right. For sure, man. I appreciate it, man.
Definitely. I always appreciate your insight, brother.
Thank you, man.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. To the G League stuff that you got coming.
Yeah.
Up. So
yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's the one bright spot in New York basketball right now. Because we ain't definitely not gonna talk about the Nets. But
we're not talking about the Nets.
The WNBA is shot out. Yeah. So I mean, the G League, they're doing good. So we might as well give them a shout since the A team doesn't deserve our respect and doesn't deserve our love and affection. We might as well show some love to the G League squad,
to the B team.
They hustling, they playing hard.
Okay, so, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I'm the only one to chat, so peace out to me.
Peace, bro.
But I'm gonna talk to you later. All right.
All right, peace. Have a good one, man.
All right, take care.
Peace. Have a good weekend. All right, folks, and before I jump on up out of here, one last shout out to my man Marty Knicks with the super chat. To finish it off, he says, so the Knicks are trying to undo everything Phil Jackson did. Laugh out loud. First Tim Hardaway Jr. and now maybe Shump, J.R. Smith, and Melo. I don't know about Melo. I didn't see nothing. Maybe I didn't see anything about Melo coming back. But I feel what you're saying, though, Marty. I feel what you're saying, man. I feel what you're saying. Anyway, I'm out. Knicks versus Philadelphia Sunday. I think Knicks gonna take a loss. you know, take a big loss. We're gonna get bust, in my opinion. You know, but I'll be here. I'm gonna cover the game anyway, without a doubt. I'll catch you guys on Sunday, and remember, don't forget Monday, 8:30 p.m. We're gonna do mid-season grades. All right, you guys have a peaceful and blessed weekend. Deuces.